Next on America's Day at the Races, after hitting the board against two very good sprinters at Stakes Company, Release the Thunder tries turf for the first time in our feature race today at Belmont Park. The 3-year-old division, it is anyone's for the taking after Preakness champion War of Will gets upstaged by his stablemate in the Belmont Stakes. His trainer Mark Cassidy collects 2/3 of this year's Triple Crown as unheralded Sir Winston steals the show with a Hall of Fame ride from Joel Rosario. We'll talk all about it coming up on the show. It is brought to you by America's Best Racing, for the love of the race. Visit americasbestracing.net today. Great to have you with us the day after our Triple Crown is in the books. We have a beautiful Sunday afternoon on hand here in Elmont, New York. Greg Wolf alongside Hall of Fame rider Gary Stevens, New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling, and Sir Winston. Wow, what a performance. Was overlooked completely by most in this race, but Joel Rosario, what a game-changing ride he provided.
Yeah, you said it. It was a Hall of Fame ride, and I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame soon enough after especially that ride yesterday. He got over to the rail immediately and smoothly going into the first turn, picked all the right times. He saved all the ground, picked all the right times to get out and get it done, Andy.
I agree, and it's funny. Sometimes, I'm sure this happened to you, Gary, you've gotten a horse that ran 6, and you thought, I gave that horse one heck of a ride. And no one's ever going to notice it. And I think of Joel's ride, a practical joke when he was 5th in the Kentucky Derby, who couldn't get the mile and a quarter flatbed. But boy, he gave this horse. I mean, it's incredible. I don't think you could possibly have done anything differently and more effectively to get the win.
No, and his agent, Ron Anderson, my old agent, he was giving me a ride back to the hotel last night. And he said, did you see Joel? And I said, yeah, I saw it. And he said, no, after the race, how animated he was. You don't usually see Joel celebrate, and he was plodding the horse and pointing at him and just playing up to the crowd. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love Joel.
Second Belmont Stakes win for Joel Rosario. He had choice in this race, by the way. He could have chosen Everfast, who had that tremendous closing second-place finish in the Preakness. He chose Sir Winston for the Belmont, and he made the right call. He'll be on board, as you saw right there, Release the Thunder, the favorite, morning line favorite, in our feature race today, race 9, 6 furlongs over the inner turf. Let's take a look at the track conditions for this afternoon. They're presented by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray at Belmont Park. Piranha on, pest gone, main track fast. Turf course is firm for today's action, and we will start things off here in race number 6. On the turf. This is the start of the NYRA Bets Late Pick 5, $40,000 claiming event over the inner turf at 6 furlongs. Maniacal, Javier Castellano, Mike Maker, right now the favorite at 5-2.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's favored, actually. I'm looking at the doubles, and it's pennies between Maniacal. It is Maniacal, right, Greg? And Spectralite, the number 5, who does figure to be the speed. I thought this was a very contentious race.
Get signed up, started. You can play the NYRA Bets Late Pick 5 or bet this race to win as well. The racing that we show you each and every day by getting started with NYRA Bets. Use the promo code LIVE at sign up. You'll get a $200 new member bonus. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NYRABets.com or download the NYRA Bets app. So let's look at Maniacal, who is our favorite right now. Had the lead actually in the stretch at Gulfstream at 7.5 furlongs last start. He got caught backed up to second late. This will be the third off the bench for him today.
But he's really a much more effective turf sprinter. And 7.5 furlongs, not really a sprint at Gulfstream. It's 2 turns, and with the run-up, it's probably closer to a mile and 16 than it is to 7.5 furlongs. So I think cutting back, Gary, the 6 furlongs is definitely much more in his wheelhouse.
Agreed 100%. He did make the lead and faded. Still ran second in that last race. But today, going the 6 furlongs and as firm as this turf course as it's going to play in his favor.
Let's take a look at his most recent performance. This was down in South Florida, and he was one of the favorites here in this spot. He wound up getting beat by 2 lengths.
I think he actually ran fine in this race, especially considering that this is actually 2 races back. Yeah, this is 5 furlongs, which is why we pull it up, because it's much more of a sprint. Because if you look at this race, the horse that ran 1-2, they were 1-2 all the way around the racetrack, and while he got a terrific ride by Fergal Lynch, I think he was compromised by the way the race was run.
Yeah, my mistake. So that was 2 starts back. That was his first off the layoff here. Let's take a look at Paul LoDuca's NYRA Bets Late Pick 5 that he put together. He'll get coverage 4 deep in the first leg, 3 deep with the 1, 5, and 6 in that 7th race. He will single. Everyone loves James coming off a gate-to-wire maiden score at Gulfstream in that 8th race. using Joel Rosario's mount in our feature, Release the Thunder, along with Honey Won't, and then 4 deep in that final race. I thought that final race, very interesting betting race.
Yeah, I think I would agree with Paul's 4 choices in that race. And I agree with his single as far as looking for singles. If you're going to single in the sequence, I'd have to say the heaviest favorite and likeliest winner would be Everybody Loves James. Everyone loves James in the 8th.
Really? He had everything his own way in that race.
But he's a New York bred that's been running against opens, and he gets our trainer switches on the Shepherd, and he looks like the controlling speed on the inside, doesn't he? I mean, the question in that race is, if you don't like him, you might be able to like 6 in there. So I think you either have to spread or you have to go narrow.
Horse who look, he ran a good race to break his maiden. Horse who he finished just ahead of, came back and ran 5th of 6 there at Belmont after that performance.
Yeah, but he was cutting back to a sprint, and he's a better router.
Here's a look at Jewel Condisco, and speaking of, our Belmont Stakes winning rider, Joel Rosario, aboard for Gary Gullo.
It's interesting. He's only run once in the turf, and he blew the brake that day. So Gary Gullo gives another chance. If he doesn't blow it today, he could be in front.
Maniacal, our favorite, 5-2 with Javier Castellano.
As we said, we think the cutback to a true sprint will be in his favor.
Some kind of magician, Jose Ortiz, aboard for Mike Trombetta.
There was a time he would have been favored in this race, but that time was a couple of years ago. He is second off a layoff.
Pretty big drop in class here for the 4N play. Luis Saez, Tom Bush.
I picked him on top, hoping his last race was just a race he needed. He has back form that can win it, but he needs to improve.
Spectralite, he will be the one to catch. Eric Consell for David Dong.
And a key horse for him is Jewel Condisco. Does he put pressure on him? I'm against this horse today. I think it's a tougher spot.
Spring to the Sky, Manny Franco at 10-1 for Bruce Brown.
I always root for this 10-year-old, and he ran well enough against Spectralite 2-back that he'll probably be a bit of an overlay in this race.
7 horse at least has some tactical speed. Now he puts blinkers on. Can he pressure the 5 at all?
No, I don't see it. I don't think he's fast enough on the turf to do it. But as you said, he puts blinkers on, so maybe that'll freshen his speed up.
Bold Daddy, I ride Ortiz. Junior rides for 1 of 2 for Jason Service.
Tries a sprint for the first time. It's not a great move, but Jason Service true turn back numbers from routes to sprints to the turf are pretty good.
And Wicked Freud, the other Jason Service runner on the outside, he comes in off a win at Suffolk.
I just don't love his recent form and was surprised to see of the 2 Jason Service, he's the shorter price in the double because I would prefer Bold Daddy.
That's your field. It kicks off the NYRA Bets late pick 5, close to $70,000 in the pool. You can also handicap today's races and test your skills without risking any of your own money, and you can compete for real prizes as well with the Showdown contest. It is free each and every day on our show. Go to NYRA.com/showdown, and again, you're competing for real prizes. We'll update the standings at the end of the show. We're 4 minutes to post. Let's check in trackside for more with Maggie Wolfendale.
And guys, while Maniacal looks like the horse to beat, I can't fault this horse, and I've been a fan of his for a long time now, and this is an ideal race for him to come back into here for Mike Maker, although I will say he was entered for $25,000 a couple weeks ago, but taken off the turf. So here for the 40, interested in the 2 horses on the outside, both of which turn bags for trainer Jason Service, including number 9, Wicked Freud. Now he's looking to recapture some of the form that he had going back to 2017 and 18. For this barn, but maybe he's getting back on the right track. I know winning, albeit at Suffolk, doesn't spark the most confidence, but this is the best I've seen this horse look in quite a while. And 2, I've always liked less ground for him. I know that might not be what his form suggests, and maybe he's going to need things to kind of come back to him. I get that. But like I said, I love the way he's looking. He's sharp. It looks as though they've had intention with his training with this turn back in mind. Now moving to his inside with his stablemate, number 8, Bold Daddy. He'll try a sprint for pretty much the first time in his life. I will say he's a bit smaller, shorter coupled, built downhill. A little bit of a more lighter framed horse. So physically, I don't mind this turn back in distance, but from the overall perspective, I do prefer Wicked Freud here as a nice. They must know I'm talking about them. They're standing side by side as we'll move on to a horse returning to the NYRA circuit. Number 3, Some Kind of Magician. Going back to his 3-year-old campaign, he ran some really nice races, including a win here at Belmont in September of 2017. He's second off of a layoff, and I'm wondering if the reason why his form went off last year is because he never got a firm turf course to run on. And he's back on firm turf. He gets an extra furlong, which he obviously needed. He came rolling late. He's a little more tucked up. Wish he looked a little more fit, to be honest. But I wouldn't be surprised if he can make some noise here at a big price. Greg?
Maggie, thank you. There it is again. Pick 5 pool. NYRA Bets Late Pick 5 begins right here in race 6 for a minute to post. Here's our schedule for this afternoon. We'll have races 6 through 10 at Belmont Park, where we're fast and firm. And we have action from Churchill Downs in Louisville. Races 8 through 10. They are sloppy and off the turf this afternoon. Let's check in now live in Louisville with Jonathan Kinchen.
Greg, what's going on? I am here. The Triple Crown's over. That typically makes me a little bit sad, but the great part about horse racing is you show up the next day and there's still going to be these four-legged, beautiful animals running in a circle that we get to bet on. I had a joke planned about the weather, about how rainy it was, but now the sun's out. I'm sweating, so that joke's no good anymore. It was raining pretty heavy. They're off the turf in race 9. There's been 9 scratches in that race. They'll be running that race at a 1-turn mile, so obviously handicap accordingly for that. As far as this race, race 8, my top pick here is the 4. And that horse is Area. Area is trained by Steve Asmussen, ridden by Ricardo Santana. If you were paying attention yesterday, which I don't know what you were doing if you weren't, they were responsible for one of the biggest wins yesterday in Matoli winning the Runhappy Met Mile. I like this horse. I think that he's got a lot of, she has a lot of speed. I think compared to the other horses in here, Ricardo is always aggressive with these types. I think she could find the front end in here. She's been undefeated since she's gone to Steve Asmussen's barn. All those things get me kind of excited. She will be the favorite. She's 3-1 on the board now. Looking at the double will pays, I think that they'll come for her in the win pool, and she'll end up being favored. And we will see you guys in a few minutes trackside. Back to you.
All right, Jonathan, thank you very much. We'll get back to Churchill in just a little bit. We are loading up for the race that kicks off this NYRA Bets Late Pick 5. It is still Maniacal. Has been favored throughout in the wagering from post 2.
Yeah, I can understand that. You know, I'm interested to see how the races run. Is the one horse in this race going to show speed? Is Joel going to come out and really be running? With Jewel Cadisco is very fast, or does Spectralite have that real turf sprint speed? And I think the early stages going to tell us a tale for this race.
Now, the one horse has been on the lead in every one of the first calls in his last, 9 races. So, horse is going to be fresh. I say he's going to ship him.
Let's go upstairs. Larry Collmus with the call. Here's race 6, Belmont.
They're off. Spectralite sent hard. Spring to the Sky came out running in second position. Maniacal is out third on the inside. Farther out comes Bull Daddy in fourth, and then it's End Play and Jewel Disco toward the inside. A break of another 2 to Wicked Freud. Mad Money's alongside. The trailer is Some Kind of Magician. Up the backstretch and for the far turn, Spectralite the leader by a length and a half now. Outside, Spring to the Sky follows in second, 21.68, a sharp opening quarter mile. And then it's Bull Daddy on the outside, Maniacal down toward the hedge. End Play is fifth and moving up 4.5 lengths off the lead. Jewel Disco drops back on the inside of Mad Money's in a 3-wide Wicked Freud. And still at the back is Some Kind of Magician. Coming to the top of the stretch here. And off the turn, Spectralite is the leader through a 44.05 half mile. Leads a length and a half to Spring to the Sky. Maniacal is closing through on the inside. Bull Daddy is fourth. Down the center, Wicked Freud is finishing well and gaining ground with each and every stride. And Wicked Freud's really kicked it in. Spectralite, Maniacal, Wicked Freud on the far outside. It's going to be Maniacal. Maniacal over Spectralite, Wicked Freud. And Mad Money's was fourth.
Well, Spectralite, as he usually does, gets the lead and unable to hang on. Maniacal, as the favorite at post time, runs him down. Actually went off second choice.
And Gary can't give a better ride than Maniacal got from Javier Castellano. Save that ground and come out in the stretch.
Yeah, and perfectly timed, gets up in the last 50 yards or so. And Maniacal getting back on form today. The drop back in distance was the key here, but just take a look at the way Javier times this, right? It's in full stride right now. Perfect rhythm with the horse. Race over.
And I'd say Maggie's horse, the number 9, Wicked Freud, actually ran very well. Because you look at the race, right, it was horses that were towards the inside, down towards the lead, and that was the only horse that made up much ground. I think one of the things we saw here, turf sprint speed for Spectralite, faster than dirt sprint speed for Jewel Disco on the rail.
So Maniacal collects the win, just his second career victory on turf. Mike Maker, 3 Diamonds Farm. Javier Castellano runs down the lone speed Spectralite, who's been pretty effective in his career on turf.
No, he's a pretty cool horse, actually. I didn't really like him here. He ran a lot better than I thought he would. Just too fast for these horses early, and that was an honest pace. It wasn't blistering, but it was a very honest pace, and he still narrowly, and he didn't, it's not like he quit when Maniacal came to him. He actually fought back gamely.
So Maniacal with the win. We'll have the prices for you when we come back. Stick around, and we're going to talk plenty about the test of the champion and the tremendous ride Joel Rosario gave Sir Winston as Mark Casse wins 2/3 of this year's Triple Crown. We'll be back with more America's Day at the Races right after this.
Runhappy was the fastest 3-year-old sprinter of his generation.
Runhappy is stamping his horses. And they all got great necks, great hind legs. They all got a good walk, and this colt moves very, very well. Very smart. He hasn't turned a hair since we had him. First day we turned him out, he was very, very gentle in his paddock and did everything right. He's got an exceptional pedigree.
Runhappy standing at Claiborne Farm.
Eclipse champion Blame was considered by many as the breakout stallion of 2018. His top runners included Grade 1 winner and Eclipse Award finalist Marley's Freedom, plus Grade 1 winner Fault and graded stakes winners Maraud, Beyond Blame, Miss Kentucky, and Blamed. His yearlings sold up to $500,000, and his sensational daughter Fault brought $1.2 million at the November sale. Outstanding results, outstanding value. Blame, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
You're watching America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2, MSG Plus, and other regional networks across the country, as well as Altitude Network. It's brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Back here at Belmont Park, Maniacal kicks things off in the NYRA Bets late pick 5. As the second choice on the board, running down the lone speedster there, Spectralite.
Yeah, Maniacal really drifted up at the end, paid almost $9 actually here, and got just a perfect ride under Javier Castellano for trainer Mike Maker.
2-5-9 finish. Let's set up race 7, $32,000 claiming race. It's 3/4 of a mile coming up. Who's driving scratched, as you can see, and 1,000% dropping out of an entry-level allowance race. Steve Asmussen, L&N Racing, Jose Ortiz, favored at 9-5.
Yeah, last race was a Grade 1 stake compared to this. In fact, the winner finished second to McKenzie in the Grade 1 Malibu. So it's an appropriate drop, and if he runs back to his race 3 back, he's going to be a handful.
All right, we've got much more in this race coming up. We are 25 minutes to post. We are going to send it back to Churchill Downs. Another look at the field and the odds here for this allowance optional claiming field, True Dream. Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez Jr., 3-2 current favorite, coming off that big win on the wet, fast surface back on May 12th at Churchill. Let's go to Jonathan.
Greg, you mentioned the wet, fast surface. It's wet and fast now. It's a little sloppy. My forehead's wet. It's hot out here. It's very humid. Area is starting to kind of creep down into the favoritism here. I think it's getting a little bit closer. Last time I looked, it was getting pretty close to her being the favorite. I still like her, especially on this racetrack. We talked about it on the show before. Horses that are going to be forward on these sloppy racetracks, I think, have a big advantage. They don't get all that heavy kickback in their face. I think the most interesting story about this race on the tote board would be the 2 High Regard. If you look at, she's 4-1. I thought she was going to be a lot shorter than that in this spot. She broke her maiden here at Churchill Downs. She has ran in 2 two-year-old stakes races here at Churchill Downs, and she won a very impressive race here on Kentucky Oaks Day. You know, her being 4-1 is kind of a big sign that the public's not liking her as much as I thought they might. I'm excited here about area shots. The other horse in here that I think should be mentioned is the 5 True Dream from McPeak, who did run really well with some moisture in the track. Maybe that's what she likes. Maybe she's going to enjoy this sloppy surface when some of the other ones might not. But my top pick, I'm going to stick with Area here. I think she'll be out on the front end, and hopefully she'll be on the front end when she runs by me here in about 3 minutes. Fellas, back to you.
Jonathan, thank you. Yeah, 4-1 on High Regard with who she has faced. I mean, she's right behind Restless Rider. Leora won that race. She faced Champagne Anyone, was only beaten a length and a half to her, but very chilly on the board.
Yeah, I didn't like her, so I'm not that surprised. I don't disagree. Uleli was 1-2 back. Was the horse who was second. I think the Black Eyed Susan. So that's correct. I just thought she was moving up here, and horses like Area and True Dream, just to me, they looked a little bit faster.
Yeah, I'm with you, Andy. True Dream kind of sticks out to me. Ran on this exact same track last time out and was an easy winner. Came from just off of the pace to get the job done that day. There is speed outside of Miss Shelton that could possibly go with Area.
I agree. I thought that Miss Shelton would go in this race, and I thought it might help a horse like True Dream, and I agree. Why don't you and I will take the 5, and Paul and Jonathan will take the 4, and that means the 2 will probably win. Greg, you want the 2?
Well, price is coming down. 4-1 would have been enticing.
7-2, you're out.
We'll see if it continues to drop here, but, you know.
Not much time left for that dropping.
She ran pretty good on a sloppy surface at Churchill in the Goldenrod as well. So may handle the surface okay, but yeah, it's a tough group. We'll see what happens. 3-2 on Area. We're all over the place here in terms of who we like.
I'm disappointed that Haunt doesn't get to run on the turf in the 9th race at Churchill.
I am as well.
You know, her 4th dam was Glowing Tribute, one of my favorite turf race mares.
Travis Stone with the call. Here's race 8 from Churchill.
Ms. Shelton, last one. They're in the gate. And they're off. Ms. Shelton with an alert start for that outside post. First alternate hustled through toward the inside, and here she comes now up to engage Ms. Shelton. And they speed off together into the clubhouse turn. On the inside, first alternate, on the outside, Ms. Shelton. 4 lengths back already to High Regard, and Whispering Speaker, they're together 3rd and 4th. 6 more back to Area, and 5 back to True Dream at the back. Around the clubhouse turn, and first alternate wanted the lead, and they've got it for the backstretch run, leading by 1.25 lengths over Ms. Shelton, running along in 2nd. Whispering Speaker on the outside of High Regard, they're still together 3rd and 4th, and 3 lengths off the lead. 3 more lengths back to Area, who's 5th and trying to move up just a bit. At the back is True Dream. True Dream has moved outside and has also started to make some progress. The pace is solid, 23 and 2 to a 47 and 2 half-mile time with 4 furlongs to go. First alternate down to the far turn, still in front. Ms. Shelton still 2nd. High Regard, Whispering Speaker still together 3rd and 4th. Still Area 5th, and True Dream is last, but closer order with 3 furlongs to go. First alternate trying to see it out midway around the far turn in front. Ms. Shelton cruising up alongside. High Regard set to strike. Whispering Speaker is there. True Dream swings to the outside. Area sticks to the rail. Top of the stretch. Ms. Shelton comes away with the lead. Puts away first alternate. Opens up by 2. True Dream closing fast on the side of the track. Area squeezing through down inside. Area's closing fast as well. In behind it's Whispering Speaker. Inside the final furlong. Here's Area. Area shoots through down inside and rallies from off the pace to win it by 3. Area 1st, True Dream 2nd, Ms. Shelton 3rd, High Regard was 4th.
Steve Asmus and Ricardo Santana Jr. and a daughter of Street Sense. Area now 3 consecutive victories, undefeated in 2019.
And fresh off a very successful Belmont Stakes Racing Festival, Steve Asmussen, but also Ricardo Santana. It's a great ride, Gary. I don't know that it made the difference because she may have been that much the best, but kind of a premature wide move on True Dream, and Ricardo sat chilly.
Yeah, he set chilly all the way around there. Got through tight opening at the head of the stretch. That's the place you want to be, is right on that fence when it's sloppy like that. And Ricardo's so patient there. He and what a weekend for him and Steve Asmussen.
2 back-to-back Runhappy Met miles for him. It's pretty big.
51 weeks ago, Sir Winston started his career at a sprint at Churchill Downs to beat one horse. He would go and then beat one horse in a turf sprint at Saratoga. That's it. It was a slow progression for him, but it all came together on Saturday in the Belmont Stakes. We're going to take a look back now at the 1.5 mile, third and final leg of the Triple Crown, in which Mark Casse takes 2/3. Now, it was not War of Will. Most were expecting if a Casse horse was going to do it, it would be him.
Yeah, and it wasn't just that Joel saved every inch of ground as long as he could and attract those very kind inside runners, but he also got him in the game, Gary. He didn't let him drift too far back.
He got him in the game and gets through. Small opening there, and actually interferes with War of Will a little bit when he did come out there, but no damage done, and just explosive in the last eighth of a mile. And when I say explosive, Joel Rosario was explosive when he went to work on him. It was a pretty ride.
And Andy, going to that final turn, Sir Winston, Tacitus, they were head and head, but Sir Winston had the rail. Tacitus was 5 wide.
I don't want to be too hard on Jose Ortiz because Tacitus is a horse, and Bill Mott touched on it, that doesn't want to necessarily be inside of horses too much. I wish Jose had found some point in the race to at least drop over a little bit with him. I think it was more unlucky, the racetrack kind of the inside in his post.
You know, I went back and watched it a couple of times. I don't know where he could have gotten over. I mean, there really wasn't an opportunity the entire trip of the 1.5 miles.
I guess if he took him back a lot more early, but I don't think that's the ride you want to give him anyway, so it's easy to look in retrospect.
Well, here's Mark Casse on his horse who claims the Belmont Stakes.
He's an amazing little horse. If at this time last year, if you had asked me to rate our top 22-year-olds, he would have been about 16th or 17th. But I'm very proud of him because he's kind of what our operation represents. I think the first 2 times he ran, he got beat 10 or 20 lengths. And I can remember having a conversation with Mr. Farmer up at Saratoga, and he didn't run very well. And I said, don't give up on him. I said, it's crazy, but I see something. And let's just, give him some time to develop.
Sir Winston, he had been 0 for 4 coming into his 2019 campaign into this Belmont Stakes, and picked a great race to break through. And obviously, Team Casse, huge part of that. The ride from Joel Rosario, big part of that. But assistant Jamie Begg, he'd been overseeing the Mark Casse operation here. Tremendous job to him. Mark Casse credited him as well for the work that he has done. But he really felt that Sir Winston, when he got here to Belmont, he really thrived.
Yeah, he's got such a great team between Dave Carroll, all of them, and he's patient. And he gives all of these assistant trainers the opportunity to call the shots and tell Mark what he thinks, and he takes all that information and puts it to good use.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jamie Begg became the assistant in New York last winter, the winter of 17-18. And you suddenly notice that Mark Casse's horses in New York were running incredibly well. He obviously does a sensational job.
2/3 of the Triple Crown, and what a bizarre run it was. It was Bill Mott's other horse that got put up via DQ in the Kentucky Derby. Mark Casse's other horse claims the third and final leg of the Triple Crown. Most thought it would be War of Will if Casse was going to win it. And now this 3-year-old division, it is wide open. Both of Casse's horses pointing towards Saratoga, by the way. We'll be back.
In the morning, I'm always looking for talent. With Always Dreaming, it was always about his athleticism. He's like a halfback. When he hit that hole, he exploded and hit another gear. In my experience, horses like Always Dreaming, they stamp their offspring with that ability. I'm racing with Bruno, and this breeding season, I'm always dreaming.
Whether you have Derby dreams or Midsummer Derby dreams, this is Tom Durkin to tell you a registered New York bred can take you there. That New York bred Exact and the Whitney by multimillionaires Diversify and Mind Your Biscuits shows the kind of quality that allowed New York breds to earn more than $93 million on the world stage last year. On-track successes have spurred New York bred sales result. At the March OBS sale, Chestertown sold for $2 million. And this New York bred 2018 yearling brought $1 million at Saratoga. So get with the program at nybreds.com.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include Cutting Humor, winner of the Grade 3 Sunland Park Derby, plus 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, and international star Shamal Nibras. This year, his 2-year-olds have brought prices up to $310,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
So my name is Robbie Herzl. I'm the yearling manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Runhappies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So we have a colt out of Queen of America. He's really nice, looks just like his dad. Very pleased with how he's coming along. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You're watching America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2, Altitude Network, MSG Plus, and other regional networks across the country. Good to have you with us. The day after the Belmont Stakes, won by Sir Winston, and both War of Will and Sir Winston looking at the Travers this summer at Saratoga. We have a cross-country Pick 5 coming up at 4:45, so we're about 13 minutes away from this. It starts with the 9th at Monmouth. It includes race 10, the Smart and Classy, and then race 8 and 9 at Belmont, and that stakes race at Woodbine as well, the Hendry Stakes, a Group 3 event. So get involved. You can do so on NYRA Bets. Back at Churchill, it was area. Rompet a victory, $5.20 for the win. Steve Asmus and Ricardo Santana Jr.
Grade 1s at Belmont and Belmont Stakes Day, or races at Churchill Downs in the slop. They're a pretty tough team, Asmussen and Ricardo Santana.
And we will talk plenty about that incredible performance from Matoli in the Runhappy Mid-Mile a little bit later on in the show. Quick look at the odds for the 9th at Churchill Downs, 4-5 on Frolic Moore. This race again taken off the turf. More on this momentarily. We're going to head downstairs back here at Belmont to Maggie Wolfendale.
Hey, Greg, and horses on the walking ring for today's 7th race, and it's for 3-year-olds. And we'll start with the rail runner. That is number 1, Booby Trap, who goes first off the claim for the ever-dangerous Danny Garganbarn. And he's actually running the shortest distance he ever has in his entire career. Now, yes, this is the first time I'm laying eyes on him, so I don't know how he's behaved in his previous outings at Gulfstream, but I can say it does feel as though Danny certainly has him sharp enough for this turn back again from the 7 to the 6. He looks great. I like him here. I just think there's another horse that might be a little bit better than he is, but we'll see as we'll take a look at that horse, and that is number 6 in here, 1000%, who, I mean, you can put a line through that last race, in my opinion, completely overmatched in that field. And today, physically, he looks the best in this field. He belongs here, if not a bit better, to be honest. I mean, I think 1000% looks much the horse to be, at least here in the paddock, and at least he is also a bit more proven at a 6-furlong distance. Finally, number 5 is Major Flirt, another one first off the claim for Linda Rice. Last time, I know it was only a 16 life, but those are against older horses, and now back in with his age group, I think he just fits more physically. I mean, he looked very small relative to the rest of his foes that day, and it looks as though he's kind of filled out a bit more. He's gotten a little stronger looking, so Linda can be very dangerous with her claims, and I would not ignore Major Flirt here, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you. There's a look at Linda Rice. We will see. Off the claim, claimed off of Todd Pletcher here with this 3-year-old son of Flatter. 5-2 on the board. We'll be back with the post parade from the 7th at Belmont when we return on America's Day at the Races. Stay tuned.
It's a Motown, the son of
Motown flying. Motown will win a Thriller. Motown to win it. And Motown has won the Hollywood Derby.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Runhappy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races. Greg Wolf, Gary Stevens, Andy Serling, Maggie Wolfendale with you. Paul LoDuca will join us a little bit later on in the show. And we have post-parade coming up here for the 7th as we look at Booby Trap, Kendrick Carmouche, Danny Gargan off the claim.
I wonder, you know, with all due respect to Danny Gargan, has great numbers off the claimed this horse from a pretty sharp outfit.
Flat rate Rudy Rodriguez has won back-to-back starts. Manny Franco rides.
This was a horse I think people would have liked if you were thinking the track was still inside speed like yesterday. I don't believe that's the case.
Trance is at 13-1 for Randy Persaud.
He was second 1,000%, 3 back for 1,000%, 9 back for him.
And we saw Linda Rice before we went to break in the paddock, coming out shortly. Horse that she just claimed, the son of Flatter, claimed off of Todd Pletcher, just ran third for 16,000 non-winners of 2 life.
This will be my biggest bet of the day. I like this horse a lot. I like Linda off the claim, and he chased 3 to 4 wide on a track that was extremely kind to horses on the rail, and I think ran much better than it looks last time.
And 1,000% to the outside, Steve Asmussen, Jose Ortiz. Son of Golden Sense.
No argument with Maggie. This is a horse, if he runs back to race 3 back, he's going to be very tough. 2 back, he caught slop, and last time he caught stakes quality horses.
Morning line favorite is the current favorite. It's the horse that you are looking at, Booby Trap. Kendrick Carmouche will be aboard, trained by the man standing by with Maggie Wolfendale.
Here with trainer Danny Gargan, sending out Booby Trap first off the claim. Now, Danny, I know you expressed a little bit of concern with the 6 furlongs. Is this a horse that is indicated to you, though, that he can handle it?
Well, he's training, pretty forwardly. He's doing really good. His last work was probably his best work since I've brought him here. And, I think he's going to run big, but they could get away from him today because he is a little bit better going longer.
You have the right rider on, though.
Yeah, Kendrick. I told Kendrick, don't let him get too far away from you. And he, if we'd had an outside post, I'd be a little confident. But being in the one hole, you can get shuffled sometimes. So we're going to obviously come out there, run a little bit, and then get a position, hopefully sit like 4 or 5 lengths off of it.
Yesterday, you had to be pleased with the respectable 4th that Tax ran in the Belmont. Talk about your thoughts about the race.
Well, I thought he ran tremendous because we missed a few things. He got a little sick after the Derby, and then we had a little foot issue, so we missed some training. I missed a work with him. But, he's doing really well right now, and he's really come along since Ian McKinley glued his front feet. Even his color was come back, and he just looks tremendous right now. So I was really pleased with how he ran, and he put in a game effort.
Now, is there any plans going forward from today where you might run him next?
Well, he's doing good. He does his best running when I give him 8 weeks or maybe a little bit longer. So we'll probably bring him back maybe in 8 weeks, which you know where that'll be.
Saratoga.
Travers. So if we have everything goes as planned, we'll probably do that if he stays good and healthy. And, there's also a grass race there. And he is bred for the grass that we, hopefully we get invited to that. So there's a couple options in that way. So just see who shows up for the Travers, who's doing good at the time, and keep an eye on the grass race too.
Always nice when you have a pedigree like that to weigh your options.
It's nice to have a horse like that.
That's the truth. Well, job well done yesterday. A very nice 4th with Tax.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we'll see what Booby Trap can do, though. First off, the claim for the Gargan Barn.
Maggie, thanks. Yeah, I told the story a few days ago on the show, but Danny Gargan, of course, claimed Tax for $50,000 out of a maiden claiming race. And worked okay. Then they breezed him again, and he breezed sensational. And then Kieran McLaughlin said, you should nominate him to the Remsen. He said, I can't do that. I just claimed him out of a maiden 50 race. Wound up doing it on the advice of Kieran. Hit the board in that race, and then he'd go on to win the Withers.
No, I mean, it's been a real story to claim this horse for $50,000 and get as far as he's gotten. And the other thing is he chased outside last time. He was chasing too wide, and it wasn't the best of trips. Horse who was on the rail, who was a big long shot, held on for third. And you almost wonder if they had post position reversed, Tax might have held on for second or third in there.
Exactly.
We had a stakes race earlier on the card this afternoon, and there was a pretty heavy favorite in this spot for trainer Brad Cox. Break even in the Jersey Girl. It was race 3 on the card. He has another pretty nice 3-year-old filly named Kofefe, who set a track record in the Preakness Stakes, but break even, short price, got it done today.
She got it done, but Sue's Fortune, Jeremiah Engelhardt's New York bred, she gave her all she wanted in here. And I talked a little bit with Brad Cox after the race, who suggested that as talented as she is, and she has won at 7, he thinks 6 is her best. Now, they're going to want to probably try the test. It's grade 1 at 7 furlongs, but it's not going to be easy for her. And she's also going to have to face Kofefe in there, but she'd have to think of these last 2. Kofefe right now, top of the class.
Yeah, this filly, she's super, super fast, but she was weakening here at the end a little bit. She's compact and very quick, and she's going to struggle to get 7/8 of a mile.
She might have to face Guarana in that race as well. Chad Brown debating between the Coaching Club American Oaks stretching out to a mile and 1/8 or the 7 furlongs test for, I think, maybe the most sensational performance we saw the whole weekend.
Well, I mean, Guarana, who did get a great trip with the track, but I mean, to see a 2-year-old filly in her second career start run that kind of race, it's pretty eye-opening.
Those fractions that she was sitting just, 2 lengths off of a 21 and 4, 43 and change, and 133 for the final time. Unbelievable performance.
All right, getting set for the 7th race here. 9-5 favorite, Booby Trap. You heard from Danny Gargan, and now a little bit of late money coming in on this 3-year-old son of Hard Spun down on the inside as we look at the 3 here, Flat Rate. Can Flat Rate make it 3 in a row? None of our analysts seem to think so.
Yesterday's track, I think he could have. I just feel like the track has been a lot fairer today, and he didn't have an advantage. Jonathan, I think, looking at the same thing I am with Major Flirt, of course, against the track last time out. But I can't disagree with Maggie and Paul. The 6 horse could easily be the horse to beat in here.
Pick 4, as you see, starts here closing in on $300,000 in the pool. And again, you know, for those playing the pick 4, Andy, you talked about this earlier when we showed Paul LoDuca's NYRA Bet's late pick 5 ticket. It applies here as well. But you thought coming up in the next race, for those playing the pick 4, everyone loves James, the 1, maybe the most likely single for most?
I have to think. I mean, if you look through the sequence, that just horse, when I say most likely single, the shortest price in the entire sequence is what I really kind of mean. I just think he's going to be. And I would lean very heavily on him, too. We'll see.
He's your pick?
He is my pick.
Okay.
I'm trying to pick some winners occasionally because I haven't been picking them the last couple days.
We'll see what happens here. Pick 4 begins in this race. 9-5 favorite, Booby Trap on the inside. Kendrick Carmouche, Danny Gargan. Let's set it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call, Larry Collmus.
They're all in line. They're off. And it's Flat Rate who comes out running well. 1,000% on the outside away, running in second. Booby Trap is third, alongside of Major Flirt. And the trailer is Trance, who's far behind, about 10 lengths off the lead. Racing for the turn, Flat Rate the leader. On the outside, 1,000% second through this first quarter mile. And into the far turn. 21.96 was the quarter. And as they round the far turn, they are in pursuit of Flat Rate, who leads at a half a length. 1,000% on the outside, second by 4. Then Major Flirt, Booby Trap on the inside, and 6 lengths more back to Trance as they come toward the top of the stretch, where it is Flat Rate turning for home in front by a length and a half. 1,000% on the outside, bearing down though after a 44.85 half. These two arrive at the 8th pole right together. 1,000% on the outside. Flat Rate digs in toward the rail. Booby Trap is third and 5 lengths behind them. Down to the 16th pole. 1,000% on the outside. Now takes the lead from Flat Rate. These two coming down to the line, and 1,000% will do it. Flat Rate second, beaten 3/4 of a length on the wire. Booby Trap was third, and Trance came on for 4th.
1,000%. Steve Asmussen, Jose Ortiz, Ellen N Racing picks up the 3rd win of his career.
This was a full-out battle. Flat Rate did not want to give up with Manny Frank on the inside, but Jose Ortiz, 1,000%, the drop-down helped.
Yeah, I thought Flat Rate was long gone coming into the stretch. It didn't look like Manny had moved on him yet, and I think Jose thought he was going to roll by a lot easier than he did. It was a good fight the last 16th of a mile, and Jose gets very physical here in the last 16th of a mile and finally puts Flat Rate away.
And those were unusually quick paces. No more dirt races, though, to be run in today's card.
21-4 opening quarter, 44-4 to the half. In the end, 1,000% gets the job done, gets by Flat Rate for the win. Booby Trap, your favorite, winds up third as we look again here into the stretch. And just workmanlike from the 6 to grind out this victory.
Yeah, and the one didn't run too bad. Booby Trap come running on, and it looked like Collmus was having to, push pretty hard to keep him close early on, and might have flattened out a little bit, but should run a lot better off the layoff, second off the layoff next time.
But these two horses just ran in a different race, the first two in front.
So our late pick 4 begins with 1,000% for the Steve Asmussen barn. We'll have these prices coming up momentarily. Our show each and every day brought to you in part by this former champion sprinter. Runhappy raced his entire career medication-free, now stands in legendary stall number 1 at Claiborne Farm for $25,000. And we're going to see his offspring on the racetrack next year in 2020. And if you happen to have a Runhappy in a non-restricted maiden race at Saratoga and you win that race, a $100,000 bonus is coming your way. Churchill Downs, race 9, taken off the turf, remains at a mile entry-level allowance race, and with the surface switch and all these scratches, the main track only Frolic More rider change there. It's Corey Lannery aboard. An even money favorite for trainer Dallas Stewart. As we take a look here at Lord Dragon for Jordan Blair.
I got to tell you, this horse is an overlay in this field right now at his current 12-to-1 odds. His dirt races fit in this race.
Here's the 4, Zorb, for trainer Brian Lynch.
He's another one that might not be really hurt by the race coming off the turf, though obviously did not run at all last time.
You've said it all. He ran pretty good on the off-going, second start of his career at Oaklawn.
I agree with you. That race makes him a major contender in this race.
He's 7-1 on the board right now. Here is the 6, Haunt, son of Ghost Stapper for Belmont.
I was looking to bet forward to betting this one on the turf. Obviously did break his maiden in the slop quite easily last time, which is why he's getting bet. But I thought turf might be interesting for him.
My Sixth Sense, Mark Cassie, Gary Barber, Tyler Gaffleone.
As well as the barn is going, this one probably has to improve.
Here's Salvatore Mundi and Artie Schiller colt for Kenny McPeak.
I feel like Kenny McPeak leaving this one in says he thinks he needs a race because he's a turf horse.
And our even money favorite, well, 6-5 now on the main track only runner, Frolic More for Dallas Stewart, son of More Than Ready.
Not a turf horse. 2 times back ran the tough Pat Day Meyer, where the second finisher won the Woody Stevens, and before that, he ran a race that'll run a circle around this field.
He was third to Intrepid Heart, 3 starts back. That's your field. We'll be back 9th from Churchill Downs. The Twin Spires coming up live when we return to America's Day at the Races, and we'll look at one of the sensational performances on Saturday, Midnight Bizou. She is special when she comes to Belmont Park. Dominating win in the Ogden Phipps. We'll look back at it when we return.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tappet has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked number 1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
This is a colt by Runhappy out of Addison Run. Derby bred here at Montfort Hall. Well, he's a big, strong, good bone, big old hip on him. Moves really well, has that kind of big cat-like walk when he just relaxes and gets rolling up and down the lane.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Tom Durkin letting you know New York breds start with an advantage. At the sales, buyers pay up to 7 figures. And there's over $2 million in stakes money limited to New York sired horses in the New York Stallion Stakes Series, like the Park Avenue for 3-year-old fillies.
Newly minted wins it for fun.
For fun and money. The winner's share generates an additional $55,000 from the New York Breeding Fund.
Funny Guy's gonna do it.
Funny Guys winning the Times Square division generates the same money. So get with the program at nybreds.com.
America's Day at the Races is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Let's go back to Churchill Downs and Jonathan Kinchen.
Guys, we're here. We're off the turf like we talked about earlier. Andy mentioned a horse in here that I was interested in when I first looked at the PPs, and that was Haunt. A half to a late. What better pedigree do you need there? But the fact that they keep trying to get this one on the turf, I think Andy's probably right. I think turf is ultimately going to be what Haunt wants. The pedigree suggests that he'll be fine. All right, a late could run on the dirt a little bit too, but I think that Haunt's probably a little bit overbet in this situation. The horse that I landed on was Frolic More. The 3-year-old form down in Louisiana is something special. Andy mentioned some of it. He ran against Owendale, who won the Lexington, ran third in the Preakness. Ran against War of Will, Hog Creek Hustle, who ran the Woody Stevens yesterday, Mr. Money, Pat Day Mile. The form lines that this one's been running against are layovers in this spot. I think that the 6 Haunt is kind of a trick at 2-1. I think the pedigree, the connections probably draw people to this horse, but it's an ice cold single here for me with the 13 Frolic More. The class lines are going to be too much for this group. And hopefully we can get that one home here and keep that fairgrounds form, keep it going in the right direction. Fellas?
All right, Jonathan, thanks. So public agrees.
You know, it's interesting talking about the number 6 and sort of getting deeper with Haunt and the turf. I mean, you got to be careful about going back too far in pedigrees because you can find anything you want if you go back to 3rd and 4th generations. But whenever I see Claiborne pedigrees, I feel like they can run on turf or dirt. There's a lot of Phipps pedigrees in there. And you go back in this one to the 3rd and 4th dam. The 4th dam was going tribute, and she was not only a sensational race mare, but she was one of the greatest producing turf broodmares of all time.
You know, one thing about Churchill Downs surface, especially when it rains, for whatever reason, I've seen if horses are going to adapt turf horses to a dirt track in the United States, that's one of the few that they will do it.
Patio Prado,
yes,
who ran so well in the Derby. He couldn't stand up in the dirt, yet he almost won the Derby.
So reverse that. So I think that you're right that this horse will turf every bit as good as what we see on the muddy sealed track last time. So let's see how he runs today.
Well, here's one for you. Because the Churchill meet's got 2 more weeks left, probably shows up in Saratoga. Maybe we can try her on the turf in Saratoga for Belmont.
See prices there from Belmont, 1,000% victory, returns $7 for the win. But here in the 9th at Churchill Downs, again off the turf here in this 9th race, main track only entrant, Frolic More. 6-5 favorite. Let's go to Travis Stone for the call from Louisville.
They're in the gate. Rider was off Haunt there for a moment. Frolic More is unsettled as well. And they're off. Salvatore Mundi to the outside is away well. Frolic More is showing speed. My Sixth Sense comes on through. Here's Haunt and Zorb, and You've Said It All comes up as well. So they move up the chute and head for the main track. It is Haunt in front. Plenty of company, though. Zorb at the inside moves up, and You've Said It All between them. Those three cross the track. My Sixth Sense not far behind, racing fourth and on the outside. 2.5 lengths back to Lord Dragon, who comes away in fifth. Frolic More sixth in the early stages. Salvatore Mundi drops out to trail the field. So down the back stretch for Zorb. Zorb in front by half a length. You've Said It All and Haunt are right there. Second and third, the quarter. Fast, 22 and 3. My Sixth Sense on the outside is racing 4 wide past the half-mile pole in fourth. 3 lengths back to Lord Dragon and Frolic More. Salvatore Mundi's at the back of the pack. Round the far turn, Zorb continues to show the way, but the company's still there. Far outside, My Sixth Sense. Haunt is also right there in the mix as well. You've Said It All. Meanwhile, Frolic More saunters up to their far outside with a 5-wide bid at the quarter pole. Then it's Lord Dragon as they turn for home. Haunt comes away with the lead. My Sixth Sense on the outside running a big race. Frolic More rallying down the center of the track, racing for the mid-stretch marker. Frolic More on the far outside. Haunt at the rail. My Sixth Sense in between. These three across the track. Frolic More's got a short lead. Haunt's trying to battle back. So too My Sixth Sense. 100 yards left. Frolic More. Haunt trying to re-rally down inside. Haunt is re-rallying. Frolic More got there. Frolic More, desperate in the final few strides, holds on to do it. Haunt was second. My Sixth Sense was third. And Lord Dragon fourth.
5-wide move around the turn. You heard there from Travis Stone. Frolic More up in time. This was tight at the finish.
I couldn't tell who won, to be honest with you. I mean,
I think the outside
tight.
got there for Frolic More. She wanted to hang a little bit, and maybe Haunt was just battling back gamely on the inside. We've only seen 2 races, Gary, but horses inside have run well in both of them.
Yeah, in the 7-horse, My Sixth Sense battled tough as well. Ran a huge race, I thought, for Tyler Gaffleone.
No, I mean, all 3 of them were battling hard. That was a fun race.
Good horse race. Good horse race. I want to watch this one more time. I'm not so sure. They were spread apart, 4 or 5 horse widths, and tough to say.
I usually defer to Paul in these things, and Paul, you are standing.
What do you say,
More
Paul?
got it done.
Favorite, 13 got it.
Yeah. So Frolic More with a victory, second win of his career. You know how bad my eyes are, Andy, when I'm confident about it.
I'm not Andy, I'm Paul.
Back at Belmont, 1,000%, $7 for the win. Congratulations to Jose Ortiz, Steve Asmussen, LNN race, son of Golden Cents, out of a prize mare, Ricky S. He wins for the 3rd time in 9 starts.
All the money came in on Booby Trap, huh? 7-5.
Yeah.
But 1,000%. Very fair price. You like that one.
All right, so the 7th in the books at Belmont, and we will be on the turf in race 8. It is a New York bred entry-level allowance group where Everybody Loved James is the 6-5 favorite. Gate to wire in that maiden special at Gulfstream last time out.
I'm with Paul in this single here. I'm not trying to beat this horse. Going to use a little Steelers fan for life, but try 1-6 exactly. It's my play. It's my closing words.
Wow.
I leave you with that.
Okay. Am I the only one against this horse?
There will be others against it, just not sitting up here. Gary, you want to put up a fight?
I'm on with the Steelers. Fan for life.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
I'm interested in that horse. They had a little trouble last time. Nice long shot.
16-1 on that horse. Well, here's a look at Everyone Loves James. So Jonathan Shepard, Hall of Famer, taking over training duties here. This horse has been in 3 different barns and is only making career start number 4.
Well, as a New York bred, it makes sense they had this horse in New York first time out. Didn't really handle the dirt. Went down to Florida. I guess they wanted to run at that time of the year on the turf. But they won a $41,000 purse maiden race instead of a $60,000+ purse maiden race with New York breds where he would have won quite easily. So left a little money on the table, but enough of that. They're back with New York breds where they belong.
Meanwhile, New Jersey John and went against Riendo last time out. I thought the horse ran the much better race of those 2. Riendo sort of got a rail trip up in the stretch. This horse was a little bit wide.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I thought he steered clear of the trouble, but I don't disagree. I thought Riendo had the better strip of all of them. I thought Steelers Fan for Life, though, was the one that had trouble in that race. That's why I was trying to take him, but I can't disagree with that, Greg.
3-1 on New Jersey. John, Mike Deeney, Jose Lezcano, who's having this tremendous meet and just riding with so much confidence right now. He'll be aboard this 5-year-old son of Any Given Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this horse. I think he's more of a horse that picks up the pieces. And horses with the name John in them will always be underlays. You're finally starting to see that, Greg. I know you give me that look, but you're finally starting to see that.
Okay. So anyone named John or who's someone who knows?
No, horses with common names in them, they always take more money. They're always too
Have you done
short.
research on this?
I've seen it my whole life. I'm a sick degenerate who's been betting horses for like 50 years, for gosh sakes.
What about horses with Frolic in their name?
No, I think this horse would have been 360. So actually, I think you got to
$4.40. Frolic More wears down Han. This was a good finish in this race. 13-6-7. Let's go out to Louisville with Jonathan Kinchen.
Guys, I'm here with Dallas Stewart. Dallas, you had the horse last time on the grass, and you got the blinkers today. You trying to figure him out, or were you a little? What's the decision with all those?
We was all confused, really. I mean, but after a lot of talks and a lot of things, we worked the horse we ran him on the turf. We put the blinkers on, and he worked great. And then talking to Bill, just great owners that we work for. Great to have these people in the game to support us and, try to make the right decision. So it came out great today.
Absolutely. Billy, the fractions were pretty quick, so I'm sure you were probably feeling pretty good halfway through the race.
I really liked the place where Corey put him. 22-6, I think, was the first quarter. And I like the fact that he laid off the pace, and this horse likes to close, so we were in a good spot. I think good game plan on this one.
Now, you guys have been banging heads with some pretty heavy hitters down in Louisiana. What's next for this horse? Where do you think he'll go? He's obviously got the back class, this performance here. Where do you think we'll see him next?
So true. He stepped up good. We're just kind of figuring him out. I got a little down on him, but he stepped up good today. He stepped up with a good work for the race, and, we'll see. Hopefully he'll be onward and upward. He's not a big horse, so he's just young. He's 3, so we'll just take our time. Probably be the last race here at Churchill for him, but we'll see. But I'm very hopeful for him.
Maybe we'll see him up at Saratoga. I know you get up there every now and then. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Love seeing Dallas Stewart at Saratoga. He no doubt will be up at the spa this summer. Always such a vibrant personality. And quick look at the odds there for that 10th race at Churchill. 7,500 claiming race, 6.5 furlongs. That is a wide open betting race here. Colonel Pike right now is 9-2 favorite on the board from an 8-1 morning line as we are joined up top here by 4-time Major League All-Star Paul LoDuca. Subbing out, we went to the bullpen, said goodbye to Andy Serling. He is done for the weekend. We bring in Paulie.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I'm awesome day yesterday. My voice is still a little bit hoarse from a great day of racing, and happy for the Cassie barn in a whole. And I love that it's going to turn to the I love that everything's going to go towards the Travers. I love that everything's going to be pointed towards Saratoga because it's going to be such a giant race. It really is. But I'm just happy for the connections. I'm happy for Sir Winston. I'm happy for Mark Cassie. Now maybe we're starting to realize that Maximum Security was the best 3-year-old. We'll see what happens after this, Gary. But it certainly does muddle up the 3-year-old situation, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what Maximum Security does. Is he going to just run in the Haskell? Will he skip the Haskell and go to the Travers?
Yeah.
I don't think so because that's their home track.
That's true.
Is Monmouth Park, and that's a lot of money. But it'd be cool to see everybody match up in the Travers.
But the whole day in the whole was just an awesome day. You know what I mean?
Tremendous day here.
Yeah.
You said you think Maximum Security is the best 3-year-old?
I just think no one's beaten him yet. No one's crossed the wire past him, Greg.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
To be determined
Yeah,
this
true.
summer.
True.
We'll see what happens. But no, you're right. But we'll see.
Yeah.
It's a lot to be determined here. This division is wide open. Time for a paddock report. We're going to head downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
And horses ready for this day other than for the New York Breds, going a mile here on the turf course. And we'll lead things off with your likely post-time favorite in number 1. Everyone loves James, a horse who returns to New York Breds after running very well down in South Florida. And he is one that I know Linda actually, towards the beginning of last year, he made that maiden debut on the dirt. And then she had him entered on the turf because my notes are indicating that he looked like a turf horse and so on and so forth. So he must have been a late scratch for some reason. I did not record the reason for the late scratch, but he comes in here off the back of a win. He is actually built more like a sprinter. But that's okay because he's a speed horse going this one-turn mile, and I think this kind of course configuration fits him very nicely as well. He looks great coming in here. I really have no complaints whatsoever with everyone loves James. So he possesses one of the highest and fastest speed figures of last race, and he deserves to be the favorite. As number 3 is News Anchor. He comes back off of a layoff, and his form as a 3-year-old was terrible compared to what it was as a 2-year-old. He never took a step forward. If anything, he took a step backward. Maybe gelding is what he needed, because last time I had seen him, this horse got extremely washed out, nervous, just not good. Not what you want to see. Today, as a new gelding, he looks great. He's returned to, at least as far as physicality is concerned, returned to the good News Anchor. His coat is so shiny you can see yourself in it. He's really fit. He's not nervous. He's calm, but forward. He has that kind of keenness to him you like to see pre-race, especially coming back off of a layoff. I like what I'm seeing from News Anchor. We'll see if the gelding will turn his life around. As I want to check in with a long shot, and deservedly so, but first time against New York bred company is number 8, Yowza Yowza Yowza. I mean, going back, he's faced some decent horses, and he's only had one chance going a mile on the turf, and he won that. I know it was a very slow race, but it was as a 2-year-old. There's every reason to believe that he could improve here as a 3-year-old, but then again, he is a 3-year-old, and most of these are older horses, so you kind of pick that up physically with him. Not necessarily in size, but just maybe in development. He's not quite as strong looking as some of his other foes in here, but I like him coming back. He looks fit. Like I said, he's a long shot. But I just thought, given the conditions of the race, which he fits perfectly, and the fact he's against New York breds, maybe he can make a little squeak here as riders are up in the paddock. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thanks. So she threw a little bit of everything at us, including a long shot to consider, perhaps, in Yowza Yowza Yowza, the 8, who was 21-1 on the board. And then, of course, you have the 2 outside horses, the 9 and 10, who both deserve some consideration.
New Jersey Dawn is a horse that's the 9, 1 for 7 at Belmont. Now, Mr. Messina, the 10, Gary, likes Belmont, 2 for 5 with 2 seconds. So that has to mean something, and it's coming off a win, too.
He's coming off of that, and that was off of a well-deserved layoff. He hadn't run since January, come back May 24th and got the money, and his running style, he can sit about anywhere, and you know he's won 2 out of his 16 races, hit the board, but 6 of those. So he looks like he's on the upswing.
Well, his last 2 on turf, he's actually won, and they both came here at Belmont. I'm surprised that he's up there at 6-1. He's pretty cold on the board. I thought he was a horse to beat in here.
Yeah, if you look, you're right. Like his last 5 turf races, 2 wins in 3 seconds. So, yeah, maybe that will shift a little bit. Now I get it. I singled the 1. Everybody loves James, and it's going to the great Jonathan Shepard, a New York bred that's been racing against Open Company, but he needs to get out of the gate. He needs to get to the front end of this field because there are some horses in here that can run.
I loved hearing what Maggie had to say about News Anchor, the 3-horse after gelding, and that he was soaking wet, washy, nervous the last time they ran, and they showed him on film there. He looked beautiful. I mean,
they paid $100,000 for him, and DataLink only stands for $2,500, so he's got to be a good-looking individual. First of all, you know.
Here comes our post parade, and we start with our 6-5 favorite. Everyone loves James, Jonathan Shepard. Gate to wire win against Straight Maidens at Gulfstream.
Yeah, gate to wire fashion too. So we'll see where he lands. This son of Freud.
Big long shot at 27-1. Dublin Green. Dylan Davis aboard for Daddy here. Robbie Davis.
Now they've tried the turf 3 times, and the horse has gotten beat by a lot of lengths, like over 60. So I don't know where we're going here at 27-1.
News Anchors at 9-1. Maggie gave a lot of positives here.
Yeah, and you look back at those 2-year-old races, they're good races. So if he can get back and his mind's back in the right spot, he can be dangerous here.
Riendo, he was 45-1 when he ran second last start. He had a very good trip up the fence.
Well, the light bulb's obviously gone on in the Rich Schlossberg barn. 2 back-to-back good races. And how about last time out after a maiden win, 45-1 and was right there.
Steelers fan for life at 18-1. Rajiv Mirage for Leah Giaramatti.
This horse has shown ability a couple times, couple middle moves, but needs to be timed perfectly. Rajiv Mirage will be aboard.
Jose Ortiz for Chris Engelhart on Nuts for Bolts, who's 1 for 16 lifetime on turf.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that one race at Aqueduct is a race that can win this, but the horse is 2 for 23 lifetime, so maybe an outsider.
Yowza, yowza, yowza. As Maggie mentioned, only tried a mile on turf. It was a maiden win at Laurel.
Yeah, that was a good win, too, with Edwin Rivera. And Edwin looking for a double on the day.
3-1, New Jersey. John Jose Lezcano and Mike Deeney trains.
Yeah, one of the ones in here. And this horse has got any really kind of style can adapt to. And Jose Lezcano's been having the magic touch at this meet.
And Mr. Messina, Irad Ortiz Jr., he's won his last 2 on turf.
Yeah, and you know, the crazy part is Lezcano was on for those last 2. Now he jumps to the 9. Irad Ortiz Jr. will be on the 10.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back. We have race 8 from Belmont. When we return, it's approaching the 5-minute mark to post. 6-5 favorite. Everyone loves James. Going to try and take him gate to wire again in his first try against winners.
So my name is Robbie Herzl. I'm the yearly manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Runhappies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So first we have a colt out of Rapid Repair. He's a really nice colt. Very happy with how he's come along as a yearling. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Warfront, a leading sire on all surfaces and all fronts. His recent Grade 1 winners include Omaha Beach, Homesman, Fog of War, Lancaster Bomber, and European champion U.S. Navy flag, plus graded stakes winner War of Will, and these recent group and graded winners. Sire of the highest price yearling sold in North America in 2018. This son of Danzig continues to dominate both on the track and in the sales ring. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Adventure junkies, listen up. America's Best Racing is giving away a dream getaway for 2 to San Diego. It's 4 days of pure bliss and excitement in the sun. It includes round-trip airfare for 2, hotel, paragliding at Torrey Pines, surf lessons, and a VIP day at the races at Del Mar. Enter for free at americasbestracing.net. Look for the surfing, soaring, and scoring image on the home page. We're going to head back to Louisville right now, check in with Jonathan Kinchen.
Guys, what's going on? It's starting to rain. We had to get under cover. It's starting to rain actually pretty hard, so I'm sure they'll try to get this race in as quick as possible. It's a $7,500 claimer. There's 3 horses that are taking a lot of money. The 10, Galactica, the 11, Neil's Diamond, and the 9, Colonel Pike. They're all drawn to the outside. There's some negatives I have on all of them. The 10 Galactica was in for $32,000 and now drops in for $7,500. That's a pretty big drop. And obviously the horse could win, but it's a negative drop to me and one that I would try to find someone else in this race. The 11 Neil's Diamond was been running in protected races, now is unprotected. Another negative for me. I ended up landing on a price horse here, the 6 Cedar Creek. I thought that we kind of got sucked into a quick pace last time. I think the half furlong cutback will work in his favor. John Court was on last time, shows back up here. I think maybe with a little bit of a different ride, using that energy a little bit more efficiently throughout the race could do this one some good. And like I said, I'm trying to beat some of these horses with that are being bet. Guys, we'll throw it back to you.
All right, Jonathan, thanks. We will get back to that race. We're 10 minutes away from that finale out of Churchill Downs. Back here at Belmont. Even money now 4-5 on Everyone Loves James, who does look like the controlling speed inside, which makes him awfully dangerous here, trying winners for the first time.
Yeah, it does. And Jonathan Shepard, legendary trainer. But, you know, with the quick hook that they have here when they're going a mile distance, this gelding needs to break, and we got a lot of weight aboard, except Maggie goes with the 3, but this gelding's got to break, right, Kier?
Yeah, absolutely. Down when you're on the inside, there's a little zigzag coming out of this chute. It's only about 100 yards, but that big wave of horses comes over pretty quickly when you don't get away from it good. Get away from it good.
Let's get more from Maggie.
Going against the guys here, Greg, at my own peril. Look, I like Everybody Loves James, just looking to highlight a price here. But second choice is number 9, New Jersey John. I'm not in love with that Mango M race, to be honest. And New Jersey John was uncharacteristically quiet in the paddock. Even his trainer, Mike Deeney, noted it to me. Now, he did get a little more energized out on the track beneath Jose Lascano. He got a big warm-up from him, so he's gotten a little bit more warm, which is typical for him. I'm not in love with him as a second choice, though, guys.
All right, Maggie, thanks. Going to load up here momentarily. And the race in the hands of Luis Saez. This race on the Widener turf course and starts at an angle here before they head to that long straightaway.
You can see the two act up just a tiny bit, but they're so far so good. Only a couple more to load. Yeah, it's going to be very key the first quarter mile of this race. I don't think the one really needs the lead, but needs to be in position.
Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call, Larry Collmus. Take it away.
Last few to move into line now. Here's Yowza, who's a bit reluctant behind the starting gate to step forward. Now goes in. Here's New Jersey John. And the last one will be Mr. Messina. Mr. Messina coming up. They're all in line. They're off. New Jersey John out for the lead. Everyone Loves James on the inside, sent along from the inside. Now to grab the front. And then it's Steelers Fan for Life, Mr. Messina on the far outside, and News Anchor behind them. Then Yowza. Nuts for Bolts in between horses. Dublin Green on the inside, and Riendo is last. As they race up the backstretch, where it's Everyone Loves James in front. Ran the opening quarter in 23.91 seconds. Leads Steelers Fan for Life by a length and a half. Then New Jersey John on the outside of News Anchor, who's down toward the hedge. Nuts for Bolts between horses. Mr. Messina's on the far outside. And then it's Dublin Green, who's 6 lengths behind. Yowza, and Riendo. So Everyone Loves James, the even money favorite, leads the field into the far turn. On top by 3/4 of a length to Steelers Fan for Life through a 47.49 half mile. Mr. Messina's perched out there 3 wide. News Anchor is 4th, saving all the ground on the turn. And circling up on the far outside now is Nuts for Bolts, moving up alongside of New Jersey John. Dublin Green is down toward the rail. Riendo's next to him. And Yowza. And they're into the stretch, and it's Everyone Loves James off the turn in front. Mr. Messina, Steelers Fan for Life, stride for stride, 2nd and 3rd. Down toward the inside, News Anchor is 4th, and Nuts for Bolts and Riendo. But it is Everyone Loves James, and he's running up the score. Plenty left in the tank, and Everyone Loves James and Luis Saez are just going to crush them. And they were rolling late. And then it was Mr. Messina's second, a photo for 3rd between Riendo and News Anchor, 133.08.
Wow, did this horse re-break mid-stretch and just put this field away. Very quick time for the mile, 133 for this level.
You know, I asked you, Gary, like right out of the gate, he grabbed a hold of the right rein, but you were like, his ears are pricked.
Yeah, he was pretty happy. He was leaning out a little bit from the word go, and did a good job keeping him relaxed. Luis Saez and gets to work on him the last 16th, had plenty left for that final 1/8 of a mile.
Yeah, Jonathan Shepard, a guy that trains.
We're going to just take off.
Yeah, he just hit another gear. I saw that. When you can visually see it, you ought to feel it when you're on their back.
That's got to be an amazing feeling. And like we talked about, I was like, Jonathan Shepard trains horses. A lot of his horses now go around hurdles 2 miles. I looked at you, I'm like, well, this thing might take off. And wow, like a jet. And yeah, watch physically when he hits. He basically just taps his gelding and boom, he took off right there. You can see right there. Wow.
Yeah, he dropped and found another gear. Very impressive.
133 for the mile. That's for a New York bred entry level allowance.
Wow. It's moving along a little bit.
Luis Saez controlling things on the front end and wins at even money in race 8. Well, the prices in a moment. You see the rain coming down at Churchill Downs, but nothing gets Jonathan Kinchen down.
No, I'm a little bit nervous about these shoes. They're really nice shoes. I don't want to get them ruined when I'm walking out to the racetrack. I don't know how long this delay is going to be. They have told us that we are in a delay. I heard a grumbling, maybe 15 minutes, but that's not official. They're waiting to see what's going to happen with the radar. I will tell you this, that it's been raining off and on today, but it is absolutely pouring at the moment. The jockeys are out here. The horses are still saddled up. I will update you guys if I hear anything.
Yeah, Paul LoDuca knows. I just bought a new pair of shoes, too, and I'm scared to take them out of the box because I'm scared of weather like this in New York that can come out of nowhere. But everyone waiting patiently right now for this weather to pass.
Well, the last time I was there,
out there, people in Foxland and MSG Land.
when I was there 3 weeks ago, we had lightning warnings, and I told the guys, I told the crew, I said, I am not going out there with a microphone in my hand if we've got lightning within 10 miles of where we're at. And they said, you're serious? And I said, yes, I am serious.
Because you're a smart man.
Not going to happen.
Well, I mean, you obviously, do you have any metal inside your body, too? You have some screws and stuff, too. We don't want to attract lightning, too, as well.
Yeah, just a fake knee, a fake hip, and some new steel in my neck.
Yeah.
So, a walking lightning rod.
Yeah.
Well, we will wait and see what the weather does for us in Louisville. We'll keep you posted. In the meantime, we'll be back with prices from Belmont Park. We'll set up the feature race, the 9th as well, and we're going to recap a race for the ages. 6 grade or Group 1 winners were in this group, and what a performance. Matoli with the victory. Sensational as he wins a 7th straight in the Runhappy Men Mile.
This one is by Tappet and is a brilliant Grade 1 winner.
Elliott, of course you're talking about Constitution. He was a TD and Rising Star in his debut. He became an undefeated Grade 1 winner when he won the Florida Derby in his 3rd start. And in the Don Handicap as a 4-year-old, he ran a 111 Beyer speed figure, which is still the fastest Tappet around 2 turns.
And don't forget about his allowance race when he beat Wicked Strong and Tunnelist. His first 2-year-olds have every right to be fast.
Give it 900 and about 900,000. Thank you.
He struck me as a classic distance type horse. The way he moved, his efficiency of his stride.
It was a freakish victory, and it was one of the reasons that made Cupid a horse to really keep an eye on.
To come off a long break like Cupid did, it's almost impossible, and it just goes to show you the quality of horse he is.
Runhappy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With yearlings bringing up to $650,000 and his first crop 2-year-old selling up to $430,000, the sky's the limit for this promising young stallion. Lee, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2, MSG Plus, Altitude Network, and Fox Sports Prime Ticket. Great to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. It's brought to you in part by Runhappy, the champion sprinter. Never lost in his career while sprinting. He now stands at Claiborne Farm for $25,000. Into the winner's circle in race 8. Everyone loves James Luis Saez. Gate to wire on the son of Freud, who just took off mid-stretch.
Yeah, he really did. Out of a lemon drop kid mare, Lemon Meringue gets the job done. Wow, 2 for 4 lifetime. You're right, Greg. Maybe there's a horse in the New York Bred division and the turf division that could challenge some of Chad Brown's horses, and there is the late pick 5 follow along. Hasn't been too tough, but hopefully you can get some prices in the next 2.
Let's set up the 9th for you. And I thought this was a very wide open race coming up. 6 furlongs, it's over the inner turf. An allowance optional claiming group for $80,000 in here. And no bang, no boom. Wesley Ward, 3-year-old son of No Nay Never, who is very quick and the outside favored right now.
Yeah, and I told Paul earlier on that no bang, no boom must be coming. Wesley Ward's not going to ship this horse from Keeneland to New York just to give him a run. And didn't run well at Keeneland in his last out, but I'm looking at the board right now. What is he?
2 to 1.
2 to 1. So everybody's on the same page as we're on.
Yeah.
You and I, Gary, had a chance to talk to Steve Asmussen before the Runhappy Met Mile yesterday, and I said, wow, he didn't want to say a lot about Mitole. He said that's because he knows he's going to run huge. He doesn't want to say a lot. He's a little nervous. He, in fact, admitted he was scared to death to talk about him all week because he didn't want to upset the racing gods because he was so confident in Mitole. I'll just say this as we take a look back. You know how good Frosted's Met Mile was back in 2016? He was 2/100ths off of Frosted Stakes record back in 2016.
Yeah, and he set some wicked pace there. And you see McKenzie getting shuffled back there in 5th position right now, or 4th he was, and has to steady twice. Whether he was going to get to Mitole, I don't know. But Mitole ran the race of his lifetime. That was, I believe, 7 straight for him, 7 straight wins, and he's improved with every one of them. And I look forward to seeing him at Saratoga. Where he'll run next, not really sure. But it was sure impressive, Paul.
No, it was very impressive. I'm not taking anything away from Mitole. The horse was 3 wide most of the way into the pace. Everybody else fell apart except him. Now, the people that are saying that McKenzie was not going to win the race, they're dead wrong. He was going to win the race. But that's my opinion, not anybody else's. But you can argue that Mitole ran the better race. It's just that McKenzie ran into trouble. What ended up happening, Mike Smith had a hole. Christophe Simon hit his horse left-handed, then Promises Fulfilled came in, and Mike just got unlucky. The hole closed before he could even get there. And then when he got some room, he obviously took off. But here's the deal. Mitole, champion sprinter. McKenzie, I'm betting everything I have in my pocket the next time he runs. And Thunder Snow's got $16 million in the bank. So the top 3 finishers all ran a bang-up race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with McKenzie after what he did yesterday. Because he was the best horse, no doubt about it, but take nothing away from Mitole.
No.
He ran 132 and some change yesterday. The track was fast, but that's supersonic.
No, it's supersonic, yeah.
Half second off Najran's track record, and Steve Asmussen becomes the first trainer since Frank Whiteley Jr. to win back-to-back runnings of the Met Mile since he did it with Forgo back in 1976-77. But Mitole holds off the challenge up front from Cole Front from Promises Fulfilled. Then he holds off your 2-time defending Dubai World Cup winner Thunder Snow.
That's what we forget, right?
McKenzie late. What a performance. But no doubt Mike Smith felt as well that he did have the best horse in the race. He didn't have a lot of room. He said from the 3-ace pole he was blocked, but those two put on a show for us. It was a tremendous performance. We saw another tremendous performance as well in the Ogden Phipps, and Midnight Bisou, another Grade 1 win for trainer Steve Asmussen, and she has blossomed.
Yeah, she has. And Gary and I were talking about this earlier. Listen, Come Dancing has really turned into some kind of racehorse. But with the consummate ease that this horse won, she sort of runs like a Cadillac, doesn't she, Gary?
Yeah, she just moves different on this racetrack. Her 2 performances here at Belmont have been identical, and I think she's still improving. We talked about that earlier, but yeah, Mike got her right in the race, and she kind of built her own race, was able to sit, save ground, and moved himself out coming into the stretch, and she couldn't have won any easier, and that's as easy as you'll see a horse beat true Grade 1 horses.
Stakes record time, 139 3/4, 4th straight graded stakes win from Midnight Bisou, and Mike Smith said, you know, Big Sandy seems to just bring out the best in her.
Wow, I mean, it's amazing because, like, Come Dancing had the highest buyer speed figure of any horse. And this horse just went by her yesterday. In 2019. Went by her like she was tied to a tree. And Come Dancing is a nice mare. But Midnight Bisou, I'm with Gary. She might be turning into another beast here. Like in Mike Smith, you know the way he gets along with those ladies and along with the girls. You know, he's ridden the best of them. Zeri to Zenyatta. You keep on naming inside information. And now this one right now, Abel Tasman, this one's getting better and better.
Yeah, and you mentioned about Mike, and his relationship with the fillies, all the great ones that he's ridden. I really think that he's part of a horse's improvement. Once he gets to know him, they continue to improve. He can say little things to trainers and when they like a racetrack, when they don't like a racetrack, and that sort of thing. So last night, Mike didn't act like a guy that had won a Grade 1 earlier in the day, and he rode a great race on her. He made a decision to commit to the hole in the mile on McKenzie and went for the same hole at the same time, and these things happen in horse races. They happen in cheap races. They happen in big races. So just a decision he made.
Met Mile was it was a race that did not deserve a horse to lose because McKenzie ran so huge as well. But Matoli gets the job done. Tremendous performance by him. It was sensational. Lived up to the billing.
The top 3 finishers were like 5 or 6 lengths clear. Those 3 horses are all class.
We are going to take a break. Riders up at Churchill, by the way. We had that weather delay, but we're back in business for the nightcap in the 10th at Churchill Downs. So we'll take you back there, check in again with Jonathan Kinchen. Hopefully he has an umbrella. We don't want those shoes ruined. They look very nice on him. We're going to take a break. We're 17 minutes away at Belmont as well. We'll be back.
Our summer cruise is here at Spruce Lane Farm, and he's been a really intelligent horse since he got on the farm.
He's just got great balance and presence. He's got a really good mind, and he does everything that we like to do so far. Our plans with this colt are probably to take him to Saratoga or to Keeneland Book 1 or 2. He fits those. We paid $250,000 for him, so he was an expensive horse, but that's where he belongs.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb. On the track, his runners have scored on both dirt and turf, including multiple stakes winner Autumn Warrior, stakes performers Scrapper and Malocchio, and Sipacan Harbor, winner of the Grade 1 Spinaway Stakes at Saratoga. In the sales ring, his 2-year-olds have fetched prices up to $1.25 million and multiple yearlings up to $1 million. Classic winner, classic pedigree, Orb, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We're back on America's Day at the Races. Good to have you with us on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon here in Elmont, New York. Get signed up, get started, play along. Bet all these races that we show you with the NYRA Bets app, or go to NYRABets.com. Bet $200 and you'll get a $200 new member bonus when you use the promo code LIVE at sign up. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime with NYRABets.com. Let's head downstairs now for a paddock report with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Greg. And we're dealing with a horse in here who's trying the turf for the first time. That is number 4, Release the Thunder, for trainer Christophe Clement, a son of More Than Ready. So right there, you have a positive influence on the top side. Now, the dam did win on the turf herself. The siblings were okay on it. Now, as far as him as an individual, I do think he'll handle it. And furthermore, going back to his last race, which was the first time I had laid eyes on him in the Gold Fever, he looks better. He actually looks stronger to me. His coat and flesh look tremendous. I think he is a very likely potential winner here, trying the turf for the first time. He just makes a lot of sense. As we'll also take a look at the New York bred, that's number 3, Kajiashko, for Pat Quick. He's only tried the turf one time. It was his second start over a yielding course when we got nothing but rain here last fall. Now, it's pretty clear and obvious that he does not like a wet track whatsoever, but I'm very intrigued with him getting back on the turf, especially a firm turf course. This horse has about the most slack pasterns and flattest hoof you've ever seen. So I think Kajiashko deserves another try here on the turf. Granted, this is a bit of a tough spot as we'll look at your current favorite. That's number 7, No Bang, No Boom. He makes sense here getting back to the turf, especially at a sprint distance. He is very sharp here in the paddock for trainer Wesley Wars. We'll check in with Jonathan Kinchen over at Churchill.
Here we go, guys. They're jumping in the gate right here. We don't got a lot of time. Like I said, the top pick here is the 6 Cedar Creek. The 10 Galactica is a little bit over bet for me. I'm going to try to ride home with this 7 to 1 shot and stay dry. Guys, back to you.
All right, Jonathan, well done. Cedar Creek selection. John Court will be aboard as they load in. Travis Stone with the call. Race 10. Churchill Downs here at 6.5 furlongs on this wet surface on this Sunday afternoon in Louisville.
Waiting for Cedar Creek, Niels Diamond and Supreme Venture. They're in the gate, and they're off. My Prophet, slow start down inside. Cedar Creek mid-pack fires out fast. Quickly grabs the lead. Here comes Not a Cat But a Card slipping through inside, and now that one's in front. Not a Cat But a Card throws it down early. Hits the ground running clear by 2.5. Cedar Creek is running in second. Niels Diamond is away. Third, Galactica is fourth. Supreme Venture running along in fifth. Dark Arden is sixth. In My Father's Image is seventh. Colonel Pike moving up to be eighth. Chamono is ninth. My Prophet down inside racing 10th. Red, Blue, and True is 11th by 3. And at the back is 20 gauge. And up top, it's Not a Cat But a Card. 23 seconds flat down to the far turn in front by 2. Cedar Creek picks up the chase from second. Niels Diamond is wide with 3 furlongs to go. Colonel Pike advancing up to be fourth. Galactica's under pressure inside fifth. Then it's Supreme Venture running along in sixth. Down inside, My Prophet is seventh as they come off the turn with Not a Cat But a Card to catch, floating very wide off the turn. Cedar Creek is coming on. Here comes Cedar Creek coming after Not a Cat But a Card. Niels Diamond third and trying to close in. Dark Garden is picking it up late, dangling down inside with 1 furlong to go. Cedar Creek comes away with the lead. Not a Cat But a Card is back into second. Dark Garden continues to close, but they're inside the final 16th. Cedar Creek in front by 2, and Cedar Creek has won. 2 lengths on the wire. Dark Garden was second, is tight for third. Not a Cat But a Card or Niels Diamond. Farther back, Colonel Pike was fifth.
Cedar Creek with the win. John Court aboard. Nice selection from Jonathan Kinchen. It must be the shoes.
Must be the shoes. He's had picked a couple winners at Churchill today. So well done, Jonathan. Well done, John Court. Set the perfect trip. Pushed the button coming into the stretch, and it was all over with.
Yeah, broke sharp and was able to rate there. Nice little price, too, he got on that Son of Sensational. 8 years old, still going at it. Gets a second W over a wet course.
All right, back at Belmont, we have a post-parade coming up for our feature race here on this Sunday afternoon. Race 9, 6 furlongs on the inner turf, and we start with Honey Won't for trainer Bill Mott. Junior Alvarado aboard in this level last start. First time against winners, did not fire.
Yeah, and now it's going to cut back in distance. Gate issues before, but I think today maybe the cutback will help this son of Soldat.
Thank you, Larry Collmus, for giving me this pronunciation. Kosciuszko with Jose Lezcano aboard.
Yeah, Patrick Quick here, son of Smart Bid. Look for some speed. They put the blinkers on and Jose Lezcano aboard.
Release the Thunder, getting on the turf for the first time for Christophe Clement. Comes out of the Gold Fever, hitting the board against Wendell Fong.
The last 4 efforts, this horse has really run well. Now, Wendell Fong didn't run great yesterday, but he was part of a really tough race.
Yeah, I was in the Woody Stevens. Neverland Rock, Irad Ortiz Jr., Steve Asmussen.
You know, Steve's already tinkered with this horse a couple times. Blinkers on, blinkers off, so they're trying to find the right level. This time, 6 furlongs.
Joyful Heart, this horse showed a lot of ability early in his career on turf. They put him in the Grade 3 with Anticipation as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, he's been confusing, right? His last 2 starts, he's ran dead last. He's beaten actually 1 horse home in his last 2 starts, so he needs to really turn it around.
Yeah, and a Wesley Ward runner on the outside is our favorite. Actually did break his maiden. First time he got on turf. That was against 50 maiden claiming a Gulfstream gate to wire.
Yeah, he was giving everybody a little trouble when they were trying to saddle him in the paddock, but now he looks like he's settled down, and the public seems to think that he's the one to beat.
With more on this field, standing by with the trainer of the horse trying the turf for the first time, Release the Thunder. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Yeah, it's a big question here whether or not Release the Thunder will take to the turf, but I have the right man to ask right here. Christophe, what are your thoughts?
Well, we'll try. We tried him here on the infield at Belmont on the turf, and he looked to be moving pretty well on it. He's by More Than Ready. The dam is by Thunder Gulch. The dam won on the grass. I think it's a mistake not to try.
And ideally, where would you like to see this horse placed in the race? I mean, there's a little bit of speed, but not that much. But it's always kind of different, speed horses and turf races versus dirt races.
Correct, but I don't think you can change his style. He's been coming from off the pace. I mean, the only thing I told Joel is, if possible, just try to break as well as he can, because the last 2 races he's been breaking very slow. So we try to work on that in the morning, and not if possible, not to give him too much to do.
Now, yesterday, we saw Disco Partner run a valiant third in the Jaipur. I know he was looking for that three-peat, but what were your thoughts about his effort?
I was disappointed because I'd like to win, but I was very happy with the horse. Yet again, he tried very hard, came back in good shape, clean-legged this morning, and then we live and fight another day.
And, I mean, obviously not an ideal setup, not having any pace to kind of come back to him. Where do you see him next? Does he go to Saratoga?
No, absolutely. He'll be in Saratoga. They've got 2 stakes sprinting over there. Let's try to make both of them, and we'll go from there.
Well, best of luck with him. Best of luck here with Release the Thunder as well.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see what he does on the green.
All right, there he is. Yeah, and of course, Disco Partner, he is still the world record holder, 6 furlongs on the turf from what he did in the Jaipur. 105-3, I believe, that record he set. So we'll see him down the road this summer at Saratoga. But World of Trouble, wow, he was impressive yesterday.
He's a good horse. Ohm ran a giant second in that race, and Disco Partner got going a little too late. But yeah, World of Trouble. Can't figure out if he's better on dirt or turf. It might be better on turf.
Oh, remember a horse that we thought was Belmont's original Kentucky Derby contender?
Hidden Scroll?
It was a horse back last year named Mucho, and this horse faced Mucho back at Gulfstream in early March.
Yeah, ran second to that horse. And he wasn't tight in between. It was only a 5-horse field, and this is where they're going to say he gets in tight in between a little bit, and that's not much, okay? And I know the comment line, he comes out, but when he does come out, does he start running at the horse?
No.
Yeah, he does, a little bit,
much.
but not much.
Not much.
No. But not a bad effort, and, 1 for 8 lifetime. The worry that I have about the 4 at the price that you're getting that horse at is that the lone wins at Tampa, right? And since then, a nice second, I get it, but what's jumping off the page, it's just the buyer speed figures. That's why everybody likes the 4.
Well, and I think who he faced probably last time out, right?
Well, yeah, I guess so. Call Paul. But I don't understand why the 2 is not getting played at all.
What about the 5, Neverland Park, for Asmussen? Form's not bad.
Well, look who he faced last. At Front Run the Fed, that's who beat him by 13 lengths. He ran second behind him. Front Run the Fed, that was a lights out performance that afternoon. I want to say Chad Brown runner.
Yeah, freaky performance. 13 1/4 length winner.
Yeah, I thought considering he ran against that horse, he would take more play.
They thought a lot of this colt last year. I mean, he ran in 2 Group 2s in England before coming to America and joining Steve Asmussen's barn. So I like that price.
Yeah, the 2 to me is the confusing one, why they're not betting him. I get it. He didn't run well, but I mean, they went very fast last time over a softer turf in 22 and 45. I get it that the 7's probably the fastest horse in the race. I don't think Junior Alvarado sends here. I think he backs off a little bit and tries to maybe get a nice little pocket trip. For me, 7-1's nice. As you see, 7-1 was nice for Jonathan Kinchen at Churchill Downs to close out that card.
Yeah, nice pick in there, Jonathan. Cedar Creek, $16.60 to close out their card, and that was John Court. And Monica gets your winning connections there on a son of 8-year-old. Gelding by Sensational gets the win. Good that we were able to get in the conclusion that card with the inclement weather that was coming in. Real quick, I know we're going to look at the 3 here, but back to the 5. Group placed as well.
Yes.
Over in England. And getting 5-1 right now. Here's the 3, though. Here's Kosciuszko for Patrick Quick. And the only turf start from this horse, it was the 2nd start of his career on a yielding turf at Belmont, and he had a lead in the stretch, and he only missed by a half length.
You think I mean, when they like it on a yielding, does that mean that they like it, or does it really matter? Each turf course is different. Gary, how do you read that?
Most, excuse me, most horses, if they don't like the yielding ground or soft ground, they let you know about 2 or 3 strides away from there. They just refuse to run. They look after themselves. They're not confident on it. So when they do run well, it tells me they're steady. This horse is steady, fast, and he showed speed in every race since then. So you see very few changes in position. It's tough to make up a lot of ground when turf courses are yielding because they don't quicken on it like they do a firm turf course. So that would be the question. The horse performed horribly on the sloppy sill track at Aqueduct in April, and I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily a good sign moving towards the turf. So we'll see.
9-5 favorite remains a horse who's never tried the surface before. That's the 4 Release the Thunder. For more, let's go downstairs to Maggie.
Thanks, Greg. And I think it's taking a look at number 5, Neverland Rock. I think it's safe to say that he's may have been a bit of a disappointment since coming here to the States. I think the Connections probably had higher aspirations for what he's put forth. But I will say that he's only had 1 chance to run on a firm turf course, and that was 2 starts ago going the 5 furlongs. And a lot of times these horses are brought here to America from Europe because they need firm going, and his European form hinted at that as well. So getting an extra furlong from that 5 furlong race to the 6 here, I think is better, and obviously turning back from the 7 where he faced the freak front run, the Fed, who really handled the course that day. And because this horse, Neverland Rock, is a bit of a heavier body type of horse, and look, he's always appealing to the eye to me because he's just the physical makeup that I like. But heavier-bodied horses, they find firm going a lot easier to get over than something that's a little more taxing to get through than a course that's a bit softer and has more moisture in it. So Neverland Rock is a very intriguing horse. It's kind of put up or shut up time for him, but I want to see what he does here on the firm going, guys.
All right, I think, a lot of us intrigued by this runner here Gary talked about initially. And we'll see. He too, like No Bang, No Boom, the 7 on the outside, a son of No Nay Never. But 8-5 on a horse trying something for the first time.
That's amazing. Listen, I get it. If Release the Thunder wins this race, I am completely fine with that. But I can never take 8-5 on a horse trying something for the first time. I just can't.
Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call. Race 9 for Belmont from post 4. Really post 3, but the 4 horse, Release the Thunder. The favorite, here's Larry Collmus.
And they're all in line. They're off. No Bang, No Boom from the far outside out for the lead. Joyful Heart goes with him. These 2 speed out from Neverland Rock, and Release the Thunder is 4th on the inside. Kosciuszko is 5th and a good 9 lengths from the front, just ahead of Honey Won't up the backstretch. So they move for the far turn with No Bang, No Boom in front. Joyful Heart now a length behind, running in 2nd, as Release the Thunder slips through on the inside into 3rd, past Neverland Rock through a 21.1 opening quarter mile. Kosciuszko is getting closer with Honey Won't, and they're now 7 lengths behind and moving in tandem on the far turn. No Bang, No Boom and Joyful Heart. These 2 are together as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Neverland Rock is on the outside of Release the Thunder. Then Honey Won't and Kosciuszko, 43.33, a half mile as they arrive at the 8th pole. No Bang, No Boom from Joyful Heart. Neverland Rock on the outside is next. Release the Thunder down toward the inside. Honey Won't is 5th. Trying to come on now is Neverland Rock on the outside of No Bang, No Boom, but No Bang, No Boom just keeps on rolling and beats Neverland Rock on the wire. And then it was Release the Thunder and Honey Won't in 107.13.
It's a No Nay Never exacta in here. No Bang, No Boom. Lightning fast fractions and able to hang on in a lightning fast final time.
Yeah, good job, Wesley Ward and Johnny Velasquez. This horse, smoked to the lead and was setting some wicked fractions. We know how fast the turf course has been all week long, and it's just getting faster. But I thought the 5 was going to run by him about right here, and Johnny going left-handed and keeping him running to the wire.
Yeah, he did a great job of sort of getting him a tiny bit to a path over to get him to see the 5, and he responded as soon as he did, because he knew he had the 4 and everybody else buried on the inside. But wow, they went sub 55 for the 5/8. They went 54 and 4, by the way.
2 ticks off the course record.
It's rolling. That's rolling. And the 5 was coming. Here's the thing, Honey Won't at the top of the lane looked like he was going to make this giant run, and these horses sort of just kick clear. Like, he came home pretty fast. Like I said, 54 and 4, Gary. Holy cow.
He wasn't stopping when they hit the wire. It was an impressive performance by both of them, I think. And Neverland Rock, he'll run through this condition, I'm pretty sure, next time that he runs. Very impressive by both of them.
And you know, Maggie had mentioned with the 5 hasn't lived up to expectations. He's just had the misfortune of he faced an absolute freak last time, and this another freakish performance as well. No bang, no boom, not far off the track record. 6 furlongs on the inner turf here at Belmont Park. We're going to take a break. We will talk more Sir Winston when we return. Belmont Stakes champion. He had been winless in his 3-year-old campaign coming in. Not anymore.
There's a power so selfless, it has the ability to heal, to inspire, to unite, to change your life.
Whether you have Derby dreams or Midsummer Derby dreams, this is Tom Durkin to tell you a registered New York bred can take you there.
Diversify!
That New York bred Exact and the Whitney by multimillionaires Diversify and Mind Your Biscuits shows the kind of quality that allowed New York breds to earn more than $93 million on the world stage last year. On-track successes have spurred New York bred sales result. At the March OBS sale, Chestertown sold for $2 million. And this New York bred 2018 yearling brought $1 million at Saratoga. So get with the program at nybreds.com.
Runhappy was the fastest 3-year-old sprinter of his generation.
Runhappy is stamping his horses. And they all got great necks, great hind legs. They all got a good walk, and this colt moves very, very well. Very smart. He hasn't turned a hair since we've had him. First day we turned him out, he was very, very gentle in his paddock and did everything right. He's got an exceptional pedigree.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Back on America's Day at the Races, and this is a horse to remember. No bang, no boom. Want to see this one certainly come back down the line. 2 ticks off the course record here for 6 furlongs on the inner turf at Belmont.
Yeah, no nay never out of the sensational mare, boom, boom, vroom. And that's exactly what he did today with Johnny V aboard.
$7.40 for the win. Let's go downstairs to Maggie.
And boy, was he fast. The dam's name fit him very appropriately here today as No Bang, No Boom. Johnny V aboard, blasted out of the gate. Was that the game plan?
I'll tell you what, I rode him last time I'm out, and I know he has a lot of speed. From the outside, he behaved really well on the gate today, and when the doors opened, he was gone. Well, he was trying to go inside of me, and all he did was just got my horse more aggressive. I just let him go to the first turn, and then I can take it into a nice hold of him, go into the first turn, give it a little breathe in, and when I asked him down the lane, he actually put a big fight.
And Johnny, this turf course is really firm. I mean, did you know you were going quite that fast?
You know, this don't feel like we're going quite that fast. Obviously, it's really fast the way the track is right now. It's very short, it's very hard. So they're running as fast as they can, but you know, you don't feel like you're going that fast either.
This one for Wesley Ward, obviously well represented over at Ascot. Have you gotten an invitation from Wesley yet to ride?
Yes, I do. I'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I'll be 3 days there. And hopefully we have a couple winners there as well.
Looking forward to watching you, and congratulations here.
Thank you very much.
All right, No Bang, No Boom. Love that name, guys.
Great name as we look at the NYRA Bets late pick 5 follow along. And of course, Wesley Ward has done so much damage overseas at the Royal Ascot meet. Looking to do it again this year. No bang, no boom, $7.40, but very formful this afternoon.
Yeah, and you're still doing okay if you get one of the shots home in the last. Like the 8's a gettable horse at 5-1, and that's paying almost $800 or $700 for your pick 5. The lowest you could do is $274 to your favor right now. The 10, Millionaire Joe. Do you remember that show, Joe Millionaire? It was a show. It was where they faked the guy being a millionaire, and then they told him they wasn't, and then after you had to find out, ooh, that's to be a tough one. Yeah. By the way, I got money, but I don't.
7 furlongs on the turf, by the way, in race 10. It is state bred, $40,000 maiden claiming event. So we'll talk more about this field coming up in just a little bit. We're going to continue to revisit what happened on Saturday in the third and final leg of the Triple Crown. Final look at the odds here at post time. Tacitus went off as the 9-5 favorite at post time. War of Will, second choice, the Preakness champ at 7-2. Both those two right next door to each other from the outside, but it would be Sir Winston, Joel Rosario, who would get the win.
Just keep an eye on Joel, how smoothly he gets Sir Winston over to the inner rail and saves. He's gonna slide in right there. He's already in saving ground. He's got him nice and switched up, nice and relaxed. And he's just going to save ground all the way around that ball.
Yeah, and it's obviously a tale of two trips. I'm very, very surprised. And like Tyler Gaffalione has given War of Will unbelievable rides, but I really thought him being this wide and being off the pace, there was just no excuse. I thought he would be up forwardly placed. Now, he did not break well, and now he's 4 or 5 wide. So Tacitus is actually trying to draw off him. If you're the jockey on Tacitus, which was Jose Ortiz, I think he's thinking, okay, the best horse is right in front of me. That is the 9 War of Will. Let me stay right behind him. Meanwhile, Sir Winston is sneakily just saving ground this whole way down the backside. And so is Master Fencer way in the back.
And Joel, he doesn't push the button on this horse going into the turn. It'll be about a half mile out. They're about 3/4 of a mile out, or 5/8 of a mile out right now. And you see Tacitus coming up, closing some ground on War of Will, but they're still wide. And, you know, Ortiz, he couldn't really get over and save any ground down the backside without having to drop back to get over to the rail. So some people are saying, well, he was just too wide, and I don't think there was any chance for him to get in.
Here's my thing to you. If War of Will goes, now Jose can go. See, Jose is waiting right now for Tyler Gaffalione to go on War of Will. Now he knows I have to go. I got to go around War of Will because War of Will's got no run. Meanwhile, Jose's sitting on a ton.
Well, the winning move was right there when he slid inside of those 4 horses that are outside of him right now, and he's loaded sitting back there.
He
and you can see what he's thinking right now. I'm going to ease on out right here, and he's got a good idea right now that he's going to win him another Belmont Stakes.
So here's the move. Slips outside, Joel right there, and then takes off.
Yeah, and he does. And now, you know, Tacitus, when he got hit left-handed, he really did start to come on strong. Now, I want you to pay attention to Master Fencer, the horse with the gate dancer here is on the way outside. He starts rolling late. He was actually on the rail behind Sir Winston when we showed you that, but look where he finishes in the middle of the racetrack, where if he would have stayed the same path and maybe followed followed the winner, Sir Winston, Joel Rosario just gave that horse a masterful ride, just sucked up into the right position. But you cannot blame, I mean, a lot of people are putting blame on Jose Ortiz. Jose Ortiz's thing was, I'm going to follow War of Will. I'm going to have War of Will tote me to the front. It just didn't happen. He had to go around War of Will, and it made his job tougher, where Sir Winston just got a better trip.
Now, and here's the difference between the winner and Tacitus. Tacitus, and I would have ridden the horse exactly like Ortiz did, for the fact he's a big, long, striding horse. And if you get him stopped, if he sits in there and you get him stopped, you're not going to get him rolling again. And Sir Winston, he's a small horse. He's very athletic, and you can take that chance of saving ground and getting through, and you know he's going to spurt through those holes.
Yeah, Joel Rosario said even during the running of the race, he was very comfortable being on the inside, so he said, I'm going to stick with it and keep him here and save all the ground. He did, and it worked out. Here is Mark Casse on bittersweet feeling after a win and a loss with his Preakness champ.
it's hard. It's like having 2 kids and trying, you know, rooting. I would think that if anybody knows me, I think they probably could see that emotion in me. As exciting I am, and believe me, the Belmont is big to me. It's huge to win, but it still hurt that War of Will didn't run better. You didn't see the real War of Will today. I know that. So we got to get back and figure out what's up and why he didn't run better. I'll tell you what, they all better watch out going 1.25 miles because Sir Winston will come running too. Sir Winston is a pretty serious horse, so don't count him out. We'll go up to Saratoga beginning of July, and Sir Winston will go up there. Probably we might aim for the Jim Dandy.
And that, of course, a prep for the Travers, where Mark Cassidy looking to bring both of these horses. As you look at the running order in this race, of course, Mark Cassidy, he was a nominee for the Hall of Fame this year. This is certainly going to improve his resume going forward.
Well, yeah, it is. He went 2/3 of the Triple Crown, and he did a good job with Sir Winston. He talked about how he had to back up against his horse. First 2 starts of his career, he got buried, and they really thought they had a really nice horse. And now, boom, back-to-back races, and you got a Belmont winner, and he won it pretty nice. I got to give the horse some credit. I got to give the Mark Cassidy camp a little bit of credit here. It's a bittersweet thing. You don't want to have War of Will because he knew War of Will was probably his best shot going in, and this little horse, Sir Winston, probably surprised him a little bit.
Yeah, and look, I like hearing that he's pointing for possibly the Jim Dandy up in Saratoga early in the meet. Runs the day after the Haskell does, or the day before the Haskell. So leave him there, get him in, get another race in him, and then look forward to the Travers.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun what happens this summer. Maximum Security crossed the wire first, DQ'd in the Derby. He's looking at a prep and then going to the Haskell. And a lot of these horses looking at the Travers this summer at Saratoga. By the way, Country House for Belmont. He is not breezing yet, but he's back galloping and working out every day. So we're going to see him back soon as well. Chad Brown may not have been in the Belmont Stakes, but he dominated the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. 7 of the 18 stakes over the 3 days. He won 3 Grade 1s on Saturday. 9 of the 16 races he had starters in over the 3 days he won.
Yeah, and this is one of them in Rushing Fall. You know, we always talk about Chad Brown on the turf. He's got so many different types of horses. This horse is just turning into another type of racehorse and just kicked away from this group and maybe getting better.
Gary, as I mentioned off air to you earlier, Rushing Fall considering taking on the boys, older males in the 4-star Dave.
Yeah, and you know what? The sweet thing about this filly is that she doesn't have to take her turf course with her. She runs on any kind of turf course, any place. So could he be thinking about running against the boys in the Breeders' Cup Mile at the end of the year?
Ooh, never thought about that.
Maybe the most impressive performance that we saw over the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival was a horse who had 1 win, 1 start on her resume, and went into the Grade 1 Acorn, taking on the Kentucky Oaks winner, among others, and that was Guarana, who ran freakishly good in her debut on a sloppy racetrack at Keeneland, put into Grade 1 company, and then she does this.
Yeah, I mean, this is unheard of. They run 6 furlongs 1 time in their life, win by 14. Not unheard of for Chad Brown. She was sitting behind some wicked fast fractions yesterday, and then it just accelerated coming off the turn and running not even a second slower than what they ran the Met Mile in. So this filly, she's got an unbelievable future ahead of her.
You're right. Listen, you don't win a maiden special weight, then a Grade 1 like this. And not only did she bury the Kentucky Oaks winner and Serengeti Empress. Serengeti Empress is like 4 lengths clear. And Serengeti Empress is coming out of mile and 8th races and mile races, and she just put her away like she was nothing.
And she was not
impressive.
Look, Serengeti Empress had to go very fast up front too. No, hold on, but also Guarana wasn't that far off the pace either, so it made this win even more impressive.
Exactly. She was only 2 lengths off the lead.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, in drafting, but she was setting down some wicked fractions herself.
Chad Brown compared her to her daddy, which is pretty high praise. Said she reminds me a lot of her father, Ghost Zapper.
Wow.
Called it one of the best performances I have had training horses. This has been a pretty good training job he's done as well with bricks and mortar as Chad Brown wins 1, 2, 3 in the Manhattan.
Yeah, he's a lethal machine. I mean, all he does is win races. I told you yesterday, it's like sort of like watching a Jaws movie, and you hear that dun 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 dun, and you know the shark's there and he's about to attack, and that's what he does every time that he runs.
Well, when he's beating the other Chad Brown runners by 2-3 lengths, I'm telling you right now, this horse is like, he's our best chance to he's getting better and better to win and bring the American flag home for the Breeders' Cup Turf. I think he's that good that he can compete with some of the best turf horses over there in Europe now.
Agreed.
Incredible performance as he pulls away. And all three of these finishers, top three finishers for Chad Brown in the Manhattan, they are all being pointed now to the Arlington Million. And good to see Robert Bruce bounce back as well.
No, he just likes a faster ground. When it's fast, he's a competitor, and he ran well yesterday, yeah.
So he and Raging Bull ran third in there. They're all looking to move on to the Arlington Million. What a weekend he had. Gambier Park, who beat Newspaper of Record. He ran 1-2 in the Grade 3 Wonder again. Significant form in the Intercontinental. Separation of Powers. Homerique wins the New York. He ran 1-2 in that race as well, by the way.
Yeah, and then Homerique is, God, where does she go next? I mean, she's got credentials that are unreal too. That French filly, yeah, guy, what a weekend.
Looking at that Turf Triple Tiara Series here, going to aim for the Belmont Oaks, Homerique. Or sorry, Gambier Park is pointing to that, I should say.
His percentage goes
July
down
6th.
because he beats himself.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's crazy.
Oh, gosh.
Well, incredible week of racing, and it was coming out party for a new face in Sir Winston, but Mark Cassey, incredible job getting 2/3 of the job done in the Triple Crown, but also for Chad Brown, who just dominated these last 3 days. Incredible, winning 7 of the 18 stakes, including 3 Grade 1s on Saturday. Still have our nightcap coming up here. We're 13 minutes to post in the finale at Belmont. Let's go downstairs for a paddock report to Maggie Wolfendale.
Well, guys, we see Millionaire Joe on the outside as your favorite. He's adding just a shortcut blinker. He looks great, but I'm interested in 2 horses dropping down in class to this maiden claiming level. We'll begin with Bobby Man, who is second off of a layoff here for trainer John Terranova. Yeah, he was disappointing last time at a short price, albeit too. But I want to give him another chance here. Yes, I noted that he had not moved forward whatsoever from 2 to 3. He's pretty much the same physical as he was as a 2-year-old. But then again, this is a different class level, and I know there's not much difference between the New York breds maiden and special weight maiden claiming, but again, he has a race under his belt. The blinkers come off. I like going the 7 furlongs for him. I actually think he's a bit more of a middle distance horse rather than a sprinter, because he's fairly long and kind of lean in his frame. So I'm intrigued by Bobby Man with that drop in class. Now moving to his inside with a horse that's dropping, trying the turf for the first time and not covered in the pick 6, is number 7 DeBerg. And before I'd even looked at the pedigree, which he does not have much of for the turf, last time he ran, I noted that he looks more like a turf horse. Now he's a new gelding. He's a lot more calm, a lot more fit looking here in the paddock. I think he's fairly intriguing. Getting on the turf at the 7 furlongs, he's checking a lot of boxes for me at a big price. Now, a first-time starter taking some play, going out for Linda Rice with Jose Ortiz aboard is Alfalfa. Love that name for a son of Alpha. Linda's horses, they tend to need a start, and this guy was very green when he came into the paddock. He's since actually calmed down a bit, which is a good sign with the tack on, but I just feel like he's going to need one for experience and probably fitness too. Decent looking type, don't get me wrong. There might be some ability there, and I do think he'll handle the turf just fine, but I think he's going to need one, guys.
All right, Maggie, thanks. We'll have our post-parade here coming up momentarily. Let's take a look at Linda Rice, first-time starters, maiden claiming on the turf over the last 5 years, and that's the case here with Alfalfa, just 7%.
Well, that's a weird stat. Sometimes you can find sometimes loopholes into some kind of trainer stats, but like I don't like to read into stuff like that because Linda wins too many races to try to find a stat like that, you know?
All right, we're going to take a break of the action while the post-parade from our finale here at Belmont Park. When we come back, first timer there getting looked at, son of Alpha, Linda Rice, trying to buck that trend and get a win here in the nightcap. We'll be back.
Our summer cruise is here at Spruce Lane Farm, and he's been a really intelligent horse since he got on the farm.
He's just got great balance and presence. He's got a really good mind, and he does everything that we like to do so far. Our plans with this colt are probably to take him to Saratoga or to Keeneland Book 1 or 2. He fits those. We paid $250,000 for him, so he was an expensive horse, but that's where he belongs.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com. Sign up at NYRABets.com for a new member bonus.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, stakes winner and graded stakes performer Vanish, and recent stakes winners Taylor's Spirit and Tracy Racing. In the ring, his 2-year-olds have brought prices up to $300,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races, we're brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Got our nightcap coming up and a post-parade coming up shortly here for this 10th and final race here at Belmont. Of course, we're not that far away. Right around the corner is opening day a week earlier this year at Saratoga out at the Spa. And how about this venue to take advantage of this year, as if there wasn't enough to get excited about? The 1863 Club opening this summer as well. It's the newest must-see hospitality and event facility at Saratoga Racecourse, located at the clubhouse turn. The 1863 Club offers premium experiences and breathtaking views throughout this 3-story climate-controlled facility. You can book reservations to be part of the 1863 Club at NYRA.com.
Tell you, that's going to be the selfie spot, because you're going to be able to get the background of the racetrack right there, and then you can see the horses galloping out. It's a great place to be.
We can't wait, but we got more work to do here at Belmont before we get to Saratoga. Here's our post-parade No More Miracles. Turf debut came last start and just missed by a head.
How about 2 starts ago? This horse was 160 to 1, then got on the turf and totally changed around at 37 to 1. Just missed last time out, now 7 to 2.
First timer for Bruce Brown, son of Big Brown. Here's Ella's Ghost.
Yeah, and you can see why the name, big gray hair. Mike Luzzy will be aboard. Have a half hours, Mary. You don't see many of those anymore.
2 tries on the turf for Inflection. Now we'll cut back in distance to 7/8 for Rudy Rodriguez.
Yeah, maybe the cutback will help. You know, Rudy usually better on the cutback with his son of Arch.
Alfalfa, here is the Linda Rice, first-time starter with Jose Ortiz.
I think it's dangerous that Jose shows up on this state bred, especially for Linda. You're getting a decent price, too, at 6 to 1.
He's my lucky fellow. He showed some ability first couple of starts of his career on dirt, but we go to the 6 instead, Dove Shoot, who's at 4 to 1.
Yeah, Derek Ryan, an underrated trainer when it comes to turf trainer, too, as well. And this horse has shown some ability. Actually took an 11-horse field around to the top of the lane in front.
Here's DeBerg, 16 to 1. John Kimmel, gelding.
Yeah, going to try the grass for the first time by his son of Great R.
And here's the 8, Bobby Man. Blinkers come off for John Terranova, son of Musket Man.
Yeah, this is a homebred. This is for Eric Fine, who had Pumpkin's Pride, Louis Couture's mare, and she was a runner, and she ran on turf too, so I would think this horse can improve.
And Millionaire Joe outside, our favorite, 5 to 2, putting blinkers on and cutting back from 1 mile and a 16th to 7/8.
Well, a lot of people like to cut back in distance, blinkers going on. Carlos Martin's very good trainer. I just don't know at 5 to 2 if you can trust.
And here's the 5. He's my lucky fellow for Leah Giramati, first time on turf.
Like you said, the first 2 efforts, very good. Last time over a sloppy racetrack, he just didn't want any part of it. Now the turf for the first time today. If you like, you're getting your price at 9 to 1.
All right, we talked a little bit about the Jaipur from yesterday when Maggie interviewed Christophe Clements. Disco partner, running 3rd in that race, but a world of trouble. Keeping that win streak moving right along.
Yeah, world of trouble. Had him in a world of trouble from the word go. He almost broke his own track record yesterday, and just a win machine.
Yeah, he is. You can see Ohm on the inside and the gray disco part on the outside. They're trying, but World of Trouble is just in a different ball game. They're not getting to him, and he's stretching out. You can see that neck stretching out too.
Meanwhile, Woody Stevens, and this was one of the big upsets on the afternoon. Hog Creek Hustle had to survive an inquiry, got the win.
Yeah, he came rolling off the turn, and he's going to cut off the 9 by right here. It was just because his horse was switching leads with Corey Lannery, but he was one of the few horses, Gary, that actually came in the middle of the racetrack yesterday and closed.
Yeah, and everybody knew how fast the racetrack was, and early on in the day it was really favoring speed. Continued to if they got slow enough, but everybody sent away from there. That's why they brought him, Vicky Foley brought him over to run in the race because there was so much speed in it. They were hoping that the speed fell apart. He could run them down, and that's exactly what happened.
List of all the winners from Saturday. Who impressed you guys most?
Well, Midnight Bisou for me, just the way she beat Come Dancing. But I Bricks and Mortar for me, I get all the other stuff, get it. I just think Bricks and Mortar is just some kind of freak. He has more want than I've seen in a horse in a long time. It reminds me of John Henry.
For me, I mean, the whole day was special. Yesterday we saw some great performances, but for me it was Guarana.
Oh, yeah.
She was incredible. The way she put away.
Wow.
It's just light years more experienced field. She was coming in off one career start, a maiden win in the slop at Keeneland, and she just destroyed that group.
And you know the options you have there, it's like getting a new toy. Like you know what I mean. You go to like you get like this motorcycle, or you get like a new boat. Where do I want to take it? And then it's like Guarana. Where do I want to do with her? I don't want to keep her sprinting. Does she want to go long? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So she wins by 6 lengths. Chad Brown's called it one of the best performances I've ever had training horses. So now thinking about, and we talked about this earlier on the show, stretching her out, coaching Club American Oats. That would be a 1 1/8 or going 7 furlongs in the test.
Ooh,
but he seems to think going longer, she'll be just as brilliant.
I think he's got a lot of options. I mean, she showed yesterday that she could, you know,
be
sit off the pace. Exactly.
I think you should consider the Woodward. She reminded me of Rachel Alexander a little bit.
Could you imagine pulling that off, though? Like a maiden win to the Acorn, to that, to going a 1 1/8? That'd be amazing.
The beauty of what Chad Brown has in training all of these top horses, he knows, excuse me, he knows where he's at with all of them because he's got such depth and such good horses. He can match them up in the morning with workmates, and that's what they use a lot to judge where they're going to go with these horses, of who they've worked with in the morning. I'll guarantee you she's worked with a grade 1 winner over there.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
You're right.
And when you practice against the best, it just makes it makes you that much better.
No, it does. It's true. I don't care what sport in. Those horses know when the other horses are good too. It's because those horses are intimidating. They're pack leaders. They're herd animals. I mean, let's be honest.
5-2 favorite here in our finale. Gonna be tough, right, on this cut back in distance.
To 10, you think?
Yeah,
Probably,
I think it's going to be tough. Blinkers are going on. The blinkers ran with blinkers the first 2 outs, but his life was beaten 23 lengths and 18 3/4 lengths. But short enough. I like the 1 horse. Getting extra distance after finishing second last time. Beat ahead, came flying late, and finished second. And now today getting 7 furlongs, a little added ground.
Yeah, I couldn't argue with you there. I mean, I think I put my pick on the 1. The 6 is getting played a little bit. I can see Dove Shoot. Derek Ryan's an underrated trainer. Cape Blanco. The 4 is intriguing. Jose Ortiz sticking around, right, a first-time starter?
What do you think?
I got another angle here.
Okay.
The deuce.
What about the Bruce Brown at 20-1 with Mike Luzzy? He rode Millionaire Joe last time to a 3rd-place finisher. So they took him off, put blinkers on. I wonder if Mike told him put blinkers on.
Could be a
they
good
put
angle
the blinkers
there,
on and took him off anyway. Either that or Luzzy took off to ride this one for Bruce in here.
Maybe first timer, or at least one to use in your exotics.
The tote board doesn't say it though. Sorry.
Yeah.
Does not say it.
Meanwhile, Dove Shoot the 6, the 8 Bobby Man, they're both dropping out of tougher races. They're coming out of New York bred maiden special weight, dropping in for maiden claiming here. It's not the case with the 10 or with the one at least on turf last start. So there's quite a few ways to go in this final race here on the card. We will see how it plays out. Still favored. Now drops down another notch. Millionaire Joe the 10 at 2-1. Let's go upstairs. Larry Collmus with the car finale here on this Sunday afternoon from Belmont Park.
Last few runners heading up to the starting gate here as the assistant starters working on this first-time starter, Ella's Ghost, to move into the gate. Now looks like Ella's Ghost is in there. Here is Inflection. Stepping forward, Alfalfa and Millionaire Joe will be the last two. Alfalfa goes in. Millionaire Joe coming up to the outside stall is the current 5-2 favorite. And they're all in line. They're off. Fast start for Millionaire Joe from the far outside. And there go Dove Shoot and Alfalfa to flash some early foot. And then it's Inflection, No More Miracles on the inside, followed by He's My Lucky Fellow. And then Bobby Man and Ella's Ghost on the rail. DeBerg is last as they head up the backstretch. And the leader is Dove Shoot. On top by almost 2 lengths over Millionaire Joe. On the inside is Alfalfa running in third, moving for the far turn. He's My Lucky Fellow, fourth on the outside after a 22.4 quarter and racing 4 lengths from the front. And No More Miracles, Inflection, Bobby Man to the outside, followed by Ella's Ghost, who's about 8 lengths behind as they make their way around the turn. And checking out of there and dropping back sharply was Inflection. So they make their way around that far turn where Dove Shoot is the leader. Millionaire Joe on the outside second. Coming up to them is He's My Lucky Fellow. Alfalfa behind the leaders, running in fourth position as they come toward the top of the stretch. And circling up on the outside, Bobby Man is getting going too. They're into the stretch now. Millionaire Joe to the neck of Dove Shoot. Trying to find some running room is Alfalfa in behind horses. Running with He's My Lucky Fellow. These two both putting in their bids now. And then comes No More Miracles on the far outside. Here come Alfalfa and He's My Lucky Fellow. He's My Lucky Fellow and Alfalfa. He's My Lucky Fellow beats Alfalfa on the wire. Tight third there between No More Miracles and Millionaire Joe.
He's My Lucky Fellow, first time on turf, gets the win. We saw the 3 Inflection pulled up out of the race.
Yeah, hopefully everything's okay with Inflection. It didn't look like it was too bad. It looked like it wasn't taken to the turf course. When they come down the lane here, watch Jose Ortiz. He's loaded on the 4, and he's looking for a place to go. But Rajiv Mirage does a great job of keeping it just tight enough where Jose really can't go to work. But when he does go to work, the 5 just out finishes the 4 here, Garrett.
Yeah, and He's My Lucky Fellow. Or, excuse me, the winner. He's My Lucky Fellow. I'm sorry. He was beating double figures the last 2 times he ran. Gets on the turf and loved it.
Look at the 4 horse here out of the gate. This is a first-time starter.
Wow, and ran that race, huh? Hey, now you know why Jose. Now you know why Jose was on that horse today. And the 10 took a couple bad steps. I like to look at it again. Watch the 10 horse take a couple bad steps here close to the wire, and he might have just got popped for third. Right there, he's just getting weary, and then he almost hits the rail. He gets really choppy late in this race. Hopefully he's okay. See right there? He had to pull up a tiny bit, and I don't know if they came in on him or not. Remains to be seen. But right now they got the pitcher on the 5, and Rajiv Mirage, we were just talking about him before. Congrats.
10-1 on He's My Lucky Fellow. Leah Germani, Rajiv Mirage. We'll be back with prices. Wrap up this Sunday afternoon card right after this on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2, MSG Plus, Altitude Network, and Fox Sports Prime Ticket. No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NYRABets.com.
Able to get down about 900 and about 900,000. Thank you.
He struck me as a classic distance type horse. The way he moved, his efficiency of his stride.
It was a freakish victory, and it was one of the reasons that made Cupid a horse to really keep an eye on.
To come off a long break like Cupid did, it's almost impossible, and just goes to show you the quality of horse he is.
So my name is Robbie Herzl. I'm the yearling manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Runhappies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So we have a colt out of Queen of America. He's really nice, looks just like his dad. Very pleased with how he's coming along. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase he won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe. Now his much-anticipated first crop arrives in 2019. Mastery, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races, and we have an inquiry here, interference down the lane. Looks like it's involving your second place finisher.
Yeah, you need to pay attention to the horse that's in front. We're going to show you the head-on, okay? The horse in front with the blinkers is the 10, okay? Now the horse that's going to be in the middle is the 4 with Jose Ortiz. Now go ahead and roll it, guys. Watch the 10 start spurting away here. And the horse in between is Jose Ortiz. Now, you can make it go a little bit faster. So now the 10 starts going a little bit here. As you see Jose Ortiz, Gary, he goes left-handed. Now the 5, Rajiv Mirage, stays in his lane. Watch the 4 come over on the 10 right about here in a little bit when he goes right-handed, and the 10 has to pull up. Now, the 10 did run third, did not cost the 10 a position. What do you do in this situation?
Well, I think they'll leave it as is, just for the fact that he did not get nailed for third and finish fourth. He finished third, and that's where he was going to finish anyway. They were both running by, and the 5 and the 4 were running by the 10 anyway. At the time that this happened, they weren't. The 4 was not clear of the 10 horse when he did come all the way over, but it did not cost him third place. So, I mean, if that's what they're going to go by, that it didn't cost him a position, because he wasn't going to beat the first 2 finishers.
Yeah. White blinkers on the fence. That is the 10 who had to check there, but did hang on for third. That's Millionaire Joe. But edged out No More Miracles, the 1 in a photo for third.
Yeah, see, if we have the pan view, I'd like to show the pan view for all the folks before we leave. If the 1 would have went by the 10, they'd be looking at this a lot deeper. Now watch right here, if you could see the 1 show up, and if you could see the more of the pan view, the 1 just misses the 10. Now, do they make this a different call or not? They do, because it's improving position. Again, 10 on the rail. Jose Ortiz is now looking for position, 10 with the blinkers. Now look at the horse on the complete outside. That is the other horse, the 1. He just misses beating the 10 for third. If he beats the 10, then they take this horse down, but I think they're going to leave him up, because watch how close it gets for third. It's a nose. So it's one of those situations where they'll leave him up and they'll probably talk to Jose. Is that how it goes, Gary? If you're in Jose's position, you obviously fouled the 10. You don't get taken down, but you probably get talked to by the stewards, right?
Oh yeah, he'll get talked to.
5, 4, 10, 1. It has gone official, so it will remain that way. No change. Good. And as we explained, yeah, the 10 did not lose position there. If he had fallen behind the 1, we may have seen a change. That was not the case. So he's my lucky fellow. First time on turf. He was not involved in this. He gets the win. And Rajiv Mirage, Leah Germani, Bonaventure Stables closed things out. $22 winner in the end here. 50-cent pick 4, $380.75.
This is why you always got to check off the boxes. You never know. This is a son of It's My Lucky Day out of the pure prize mirror, probably where he gets his turf from. Gets the job done first time on turf. We talk about it all the time. You just need 1 price and you get $1,100 with a lot of favorites.
Just took 1 number. We are back on Wednesday for Eastern Time on Fox Sports 2, MSG Plus, Fox Sports Prime Ticket, and we'll be on Fox Sports San Diego as well. So we'll see you on Wednesday for Eastern Time. 3 different winners 4 if you count a horse who crossed the wire first and got DQ'd.
Well,
This year's Triple Crown.
that.
This summer's going to be fun. 3-year-old picture. It is completely wide open as Sir Winston takes the Belmont Stakes with Joel Rosario, and Mark Casse collects 2/3 of this year's Triple Crown. What a year it was, and no bang, no boom. How about this? 2 ticks off the track record on 6 furlongs in the inner turf. We'll see you next week on Wednesday